pops a video of you crying, you're pretty much the stereotype of ESPN 30. ESPN's 30 for 30 broke. Y'all all remember that? How many of y'all saw that?
Oh, yeah, I remember that shit.
Yeah. For those of y'all that are not familiar, ESPN used to put out these 30 for 30 specials, and they did one called Broke. And
Didn't
it was
they do Broke Part 2?
I'm not sure, but I remember the first one. And they were showing all of these former football players and whatnot, and what they said on average, usually after 3 years, the athlete goes broke. Say Baltimore blockbuster. Woo, there you go, Charles. That's for you. After 3 years, the athletes go broke. If you didn't play for 9 years, you're not going to get a pension.
And
so
the average for a running back is 2.5.
25 years? What?
No, that's 2.5.
2.5.
Oh, 2.5. Yeah, the average lifespan of an NFL running back is 2.5 years. You have to reach 9 to get the pension. You hear me? You have to reach 9 to get the pension. That's why you have so many of those black male athletes. They'll hang on. They'll go from team to team to team. They have no problems getting on the practice squad or whatnot, because that's another year they get to survive. They work their way to that 9, and then they retire if they can hack it. And then they get that pension. And that pension is nowhere close to your $100 million contract, Cam.
Wait, how long was Cam playing for?
Let's take a look.
Who?
Cam Newton.
Good question.
Let's see here. Cam Newton career. He played. Let's go to Wikipedia. Played for 11 seasons.
Okay.
There you go. Like to show my work. Played in the NFL for 11 seasons. So he's getting the pension. Oh, he's 6'5", 245. All right. So he's getting the pension.
How do you think when he had that skirmish out there in Atlanta, he was tossing them dudes around? He's a big motherfucker.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. I forgot he got into that fight. And he's 35 years old.
How old is he?
He's 35.
Yeah, still young. See, people don't understand sports young versus actual real life young. And when you look at that, what does that tell you? A lot of women don't know when they said that I get a man on this level. Not only does he have a great podcast and live stream, he's actually well liked when it comes to his sports career. Well, not in the NFL, but for he's also got ESPN. He's a commentator on there, so he's well liked when it comes to people, not the NFL.
He says a lot of he says a lot of dumb stuff. This is like what I'm talking about right now. You have 8 children. I'm pretty sure that they all go to private school, and they riding around in Suburbans and living in big houses, because he comes off like who's the one guy Cynthia G got pregnant by? Rob.
Raw Dog.
Yeah, Raw Dog Rob. Yeah, the bulk of your money is going to taking care of your kids. But now you get laid off and you collecting unemployment. Or in Cam Newton's case, you are unable to play football anymore at age 35. Really, you could say at age 33. Because you threw your body around and then you tore up your shoulder. And you can't run like you used to. You got beat up. This is why they tell quarterbacks slide, get out of bounds, extend your career. Those hits eventually do
add up.
Yeah, they catch up with you.
Slide. Slide, yeah, baby, baby,
Wait,
slide.
Smash. No, not from the same mother.
No. I mean,
Hell
but here's the thing: when you hear about Cam Newton, you never hear him being a bad father. But do I promote having 8 kids by more than one woman? Hell, do I promote having 8 kids in this day and time now and not living in a farm? Hell no. And welcome to anybody simulcasting from my channel to hear. You're being brought to you by number 1, Bay, aka Embrace Villainy.
The devil.
The Red Pill Sleeper Cell, aka Lewis Collier.
Mm-hmm.
And our special guest on the panel, you know him as the connoisseur of the courier of the Coliseum, AB Media 83.
What up?
And last but not least, myself, the Faulkner Man, the Baltimore Blockbuster, the Baltimore Butcher, the officer and sergeant of the goddamn law, Charles Faulkner Jr. Now, please like, share, subscribe. Some of us don't care about it, but at least support your interests.
Support your interest.
Support your interests.
Please.
See, 2 winning seasons. 2015, the year that they went to the Super Bowl, and 2013 when they went 12-4. They actually played in the postseason 4 times with bad records. Yeah, they got in on a 5-8-1 record in 2014. Oh, that's right, 3 seasons. I'm sorry, 11-5 in 2017. 3 seasons, 3 winning seasons. That's terrible. At any rate, now you're sitting up here bitching, moaning, whining, and crying about your money being tight. I hope you saved it. I hope you invested, because if you hadn't, then you're in trouble. One of the things I was saying, if I was an athlete, based on what I heard about Shaquille O'Neal, he's living off the interest.
Yeah,
This boy,
he lives off a hella interest, boy.
yeah, because he hooked up with a fabulous accountant and whatnot, stockbroker. His money is secure. The first thing I would have done if I was ran across that, hey man, give me the number to your financial advisor or accountant, whatever. Whoever hooked you up, put me on. I'll drop you 10K finder's fee. Just help me out. So, because I don't want to be like Cam Newton talking crap about whether somebody's that guy or not. But yet I'm sitting up here by the time my oldest, because keep in mind his children are still fairly young. They're not in double digit ages like that. So you've got another 10 years to go on average with 8 children, and you're already complaining about the money being low?
Yeah, that's not a good it's not a good thing.
Sloppy black man penis ship. Salute, Colonel. Just saw a group of military choppers flying in formation.
Hey, don't talk about Blueface like that.
Talk about who?
Don't talk about Blueface like that.
Oh, isn't he in prison?
I think so.
Oh yeah. You know, dating Baltimore women will do that to you. And also being a goddamn crip.
Oh, he's a crip?
Well, yeah. That's what hence the name Blueface.
And that's silly. That's beyond silly. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's, you know, I know I came in a little late, but, you know, always welcome. And Babe, AB, and Lewis and myself will agree with this one. Being a compromised male is very detrimental to the health of so many. And usually who's going to be the ones who are going to be victimized the most? It's not going to be the the people who are engaging in this behavior is usually us.
Mm-hmm.
Jibba jabba, you late. No soup for you. Go ahead.
No soup. And what's terrible about it, we're gonna have to put up all these programs to keep these little kids out from the street from destroying every goddamn body. Especially, we want everybody in America to be functional adults. But what happens? Criminality reigns supreme in the black community. I know Charles ain't shit for saying that. I know I'm not excrement, but prove me wrong. We try to make these programs, but what type of programs are we spending our hard-earned money on? Especially your taxes. You're building bigger jails, not bigger schools. and this is a guy who had millions of dollars as a professional athlete talking about the struggles of being a parent. What about John Q. Public?
I know we don't like to. I know we like to try to pretend that black issues are in-house, but everybody sees us and everybody's talking about us.
Yeah.
Prime example. Uh-oh. It's too long. Hold on. See if I can share it here.
That has then turned into the cycle of poverty. The cycle of poverty can break very quickly if fathers stayed with the women they impregnate.
But most of these fathers aren't just leaving. A large majority of these fathers are ending up in prison. Like,
Okay,
this is
good point. Why do you go to prison?
because you commit crime. But
okay,
because
yeah.
the prison system has been targeted against minorities.
Again, we're not going to agree here,
right,
and that's okay.
Yeah.
There's actually under enforcement of the laws when it comes where there's, for example, only half of murders in Chicago get solved.
Right, but are
that
they
means
all black people though?
Almost all of them, yeah. Like 80,
Well,
80
if they're not solved, how do we know that they're black people?
Well, because it's a black victim in a black neighborhood by a black gang. So it's
So-
like you can assume at a
Pause.
great approximation.
Here's the true idiocy of his statement, right? White people love to pull Chicago or cities out their ass, right? But they never tell you they commit over 100,000 more aggravated assaults. And what is an aggravated assault by definition?
Putting your hands on somebody in an aggressive manner, especially out of anger.
Murder by definition is an aggravated assault.
Yeah.
Because you typically have to use a weapon or use some type of force where it's basically going to create such mayhem or destruction. So when we talk about the majority of the murders in the black communities, I digress. Here's something that white folks have been able to do that black folks haven't. White folks have been able to do what? Police themselves, correctly?
Correct. Yes.
That is a big definition of law enforcement. Is a black kid more likely to be taken home to see their mother and father, or is a white kid more likely to get that treatment?
The white kid, but I have to admit, when I was younger, I think it was twice that I was brought home by the police, and a few times I've actually had friends who were brought home by the police.
And remember that's rare. But was that cop black or white?
In my two cases, the cops were white, and I know in one of my friends. Oh, well, that's good to hear, Snowman. I appreciate that. And one of my friends, the cops. Well, I remember it was it was two black cops, And they was dragging my friend and his brother to his door, and you'd have thought that they was taking him to the gas chamber. No, sorry, I don't mean to offend, but oh fuck, I can offend now. It's Trump era. My homeboy, he was scared to death because he knew he was gonna get a beating. Just like I got a beating.
And that's the point about you should be more afraid of your parents than the police. And we got away from that.
Oh, I can kill this kid. There we go.
And fundamentally, when he talks about that, why are you picking out Chicago? Because if you pick out Iowa, who's the murder rate going to be strongly on?
It's going to be on whites. But, for the purpose of conversation, they're talking about us.
Okay.
For the purpose of conversation. Because that's what this is about. It's a conversation about, black people and crime. So I'll let them continue.
In the west side of Chicago,
50% of the murders in Chicago that go unsolved are all black people.
Not all. No, I said 85%. But we don't know who the perp is. But again, if you have a black victim at 2 a.m. in a black neighborhood, it's reasonable to say that it was a black on black crime.
What's up, YouTube? Hope you guys are feeling good. Today, guys, we're back here on a new video.
Sorry, I had to clip this from somebody else.
To this video, guys.
Right. So when segregation ended, right, black people, or when slavery ended, actually, black people were just forced wherever, right? So they had nowhere to go. And then there was laws put in place to put them into prison. And after...
Yeah, the vagrancy law.
It's okay. No. What's your name? Guys, what's your name?
Jackson.
It takes a lot of courage to come up here.
Yeah, no,
Let's just take a deep breath. Okay, I'm not here to pick on you. No, I appreciate it. No, it's okay. I know that this can be very intimidating getting in a crowd like this. So just take a deep breath. Let me make your argument. I'm going to make your argument for you, and I'm going to tell you why I think it's wrong. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. So the argument that is being made, that you want to make, is that there's legacies of injustice.
Yes.
And that those legacies impact one generation after the other. And when those things get handed down, you have what is a system or a systemic issue that isn't just isolated in 2024. So the argument that you're making is that what happened in 1954 does impact 2024 of decade after decade after decade. Let me tell you my response to that. Of course, there is some truth to that. However, every culture, every person in this audience can point to issues that families or generations prior had that were able to overcome. So the question is, why is it that Black America is one of the only populations, that and Native American populations, that have not been able to overcome such evil, horrors, and injustices? Here's my perspective, and I want to hear what you have to say, is that the number one way to keep...
Before he does that, I'm going to go in order. Lewis, why do you think we are in the situation that we're in right now?
Broken homes, and we're constantly I'm trying to find the right word to use this, because you talked about it earlier, where when you're impoverished, you use sex as a coping mechanism, so you're loose with your dick, so that will continue the cycle of poverty.
Correct. AB?
We're where we're at right now because of our gynocracy, family structure, and the fact that white folks don't give a crap about our family structure and they just let it rot.
Colonel James L. Faulkner Jr.
Well, let's look at the Black community, which has great nuance. If you've been enslaved for 350 years, you've only really seen real emancipation for 5 during Reconstruction. You've been under Jim Crow for 120? You've only recently received your civil rights, basically the late 60s, early 70s. Then, by the time I was born, or a couple of years after, I was born in 82. you had to deal with an epidemic of proportions such as crack that did things that even slavery and Jim Crow couldn't do. And what else did you do? Government interference was one of the biggest things. All the jobs and education that you were promising the black man, you gave to not only your women, but you gave to our women. Then you had in the 90s, because of the
And
violence,
the Asians.
and the Asians.
And the foreign Indians. Indians from India.
The foreign Indians, now woo woo.
We were at the very back of the line as black men. I'm sorry, I'm just
Yeah.
clarifying your point.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to step on your toes.
No, you're good. And what also happened was this. In the violence of the 90s, you gave black women education, government jobs, welfare, housing. You gave black men what? 3 strikes and you're out. How can I compete with that? How can you keep a family together when you encourage and incentivize, not marriage, but unhealthy families and lifestyles?
Prostitute culture.
Yeah.
That's been groomed into black people ever since the 70s. You go back and you listen to the music from the I would say from 75 up. I remember listening to Whitney Houston in the car, and I was like, wait a minute. This is damn single female propaganda. Madonna, keeping my baby. I mean, the music and the television shows. Remember the big deal about the Cosby Show? For those of y'all who are too young to remember or have never seen the Cosby Show.
That they never thought that it was relatable to black folk because they were well off.
Right. And, also with an intact family.
Yep.
They were well-to-do black people with an intact family where, of course, even though they tried to portray it like Bill wasn't the head of the house, he was the head of the house.
When Bill put his foot down for certain episodes, he was not challenged, was he?
Yo, he was not. Oh, yes, the white progressive liberal. Don't worry, LAPD SWAT. Yeah, the white progressive liberal is the most racist white person you will come across in the United States.
Let's not even talk about how black people were the biggest proponents of such Cosby Show. But think about it. Dr. William Cosby gave you also a different world.
Yes, he did.
That show was so good. I wanted to fill out for Hillman.
He didn't even exist. It's like going to Wakanda.
Shit, I'm ready to get my tickets down. and see, that's the influence of imagery that black people have yet to master.
As a collective, because I can tell you right now, the difference was growing up, the difference was night and day on my mother's side up until like, I'll say once us, the kids got like in our older teenage years, a whole lot of poverty. On my father's side, whole lot of prosperity. You see what I'm saying? So it was like Atlantic and Pacific crashing against each other.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, okay, let's get into Charlie Kirk. What his answer is.
People out of poverty, lower the crime rate, and have a better society is whether or not you have a mom and a dad around. Would we agree that's an ideal? Yeah? Cool. Yeah. So what happened in 1964 is that 25% of black youth were raised by a single mom. Today, it's nearly 75%, about 70%. So that means that 1 in 4 black kids will have a father around. Only 1 in 4. That's the number one issue happening in the country, and it's not because of systemic racism. I'd like to hear what you have to say about that.
Okay, so I think black people.
Not all.
that
No,
invite-
I said 85%. But we don't know.
Sorry.
25% of black youth.
enough to help these
Hold on.
black
I'm
communities.
trying to get back into it.
25% of black youth were raised by a single mom. Today, it's nearly 75%, about 70%. So that means that 1 in 4 black kids will have a father around. Only 1 in 4. That's the number one issue happening in the country, and it's not because of systemic racism. I'd like to hear what you have to say about that.
Okay.
Oh, what do y'all have to say about that?
See, I like how he gets these unprepared people to answer such a sophisticated question.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's look at that, right? Why? Nobody ever says why. You've literally culturally attacked black women because we know, let's not even say black women. Women have traditionally been what? The more susceptible to what? Coercion.
Yes.
So if you give a woman who cannot challenge the environment like a man freely can, the ability to divorce her man, what did you do? Stop making it look like this black man left me when we found out what? Statistically, you have the number one man on earth.
I have said 1,000 times that just because they put the cheese in the trap don't mean you gotta go eat it. You know it's a trap. You know it's a trap. You're not an animal. You're a fully functional, sentient, thinking, living, breathing human being. You know it's a trap. Why are you going for the trap? Because it makes life easier for you. What? You mean I don't have to work? I get free stamps? They pay my rent? Or I only have to pay $8 a month? My sister in law, well, sister, yeah, my stepsister, excuse me, my stepsister. When I met her, you know how much she was paying in rent on Section 8?
How much?
You be ready to throw the phone.
$2?
One.
Jesus. Each
One
person.
US dollar.
And I want you to go back to that for all the fellas in the chat and on the panel. What black man can truly compete with that?
You can't. You can't.
When you social economically engineered and interfered within the black household, what do you think's going to happen? You purposely see none of him or his constituents or his allies will ever talk about COINTELPRO. You basically murdered our heroes.
Who was that? J. Edgar Hoover?
Yep, that was
Yeah.
Hoover boys.
Yeah.
You murdered our heroes. Why do you think white people don't want to pay reparations? One is because you admitting that you've done wrong of a society. Two, you're scared that black people will actually benefit from something that will not necessarily benefit white folk.
I have had this reparations. Okay. I'll say it again for those of you who are not familiar with me and my reparations thing. If the U.S. government, because they're the main ones that's really responsible for all of this, they instituted and sanctioned slavery. If they decided to get, and they know who we are through our social security numbers, so it's not a matter of we can't track you down. That's a lie. If they pay reparations to everyone 18 and up, or better yet, no, let's make it 25 and up, because you don't want to give an 18-year-old that much money. But 25 and up, every year for the next 5 years on April 15th, you get $1 million tax-free for 5 years. That's $5 million.
Mm-hmm.
This country will see a good 10 to 15 years of economic prosperity. Because let's be honest, and this is not a slight, it's not like you're going to stuff the money in a mattress and then, maybe $20 here, $20 there. No, you're going to go out, you're going to buy houses, cars, watches, rings, clothes, shoes, etc. You're going to splurge. You're going to splurge. You're going to try your best to try to burn through $1 million in that first year, knowing you got 4 more million coming for the next 4. So you're going to be going on trips. You're going to be going out to eat. It's going to be a financial free for all for you, which will be a financial come up for the United States. You can start paying your servers. You can take them off of, was that $3.25 an hour that servers pay? You can actually pay them the federal minimum wage, which you can now raise up to $17 an hour, if not 15. You can actually bring down the cost of housing because they'll be selling like hotcakes. The crisis will be over. Do you understand? The competition. Whoever has the low, even though we probably won't even be worried about the lowest price, but you would be actually aiming for the lowest price. The economic prosperity would last a good 10 to 15 years. They will burn through that money. The majority of us will burn through that money. But the problem is that you don't want to. You apologize. Clinton apologized for slavery. But you don't want to cough up the reparations because that would be by doing 100% right by black people.
Too much like right, huh?
Right. You don't think that black people deserve to be treated as human beings.
Well, I would say if we'd have never agreed on integrating our finances with theirs, we'd have never sold our house and moved into their guest house. All right. We got to ask for permission to use the pool. And, we can't be in the living room after 11 o'clock, things like that. Because, you pretty much moved into their house when you agreed to integrate your money, because black businesses dried up within 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
Because, the white man's ice is colder. Had that have never happened, I think the reparations issue probably would have came about because they would have wanted that black dollar, because it would have been unobtainable. Am I making sense?
Mm-hmm.
They want what they can't have. So they gave you integration, which was a trick bag, which was the black dollar, your black homes, your black shops, your black businesses, your black everything. You lost all of it. All of it. You even had black car manufacturers. You lost all of it practically overnight because of integration. So no, they're never going to give you reparations. Why should they? You already spend your money with them. So what is the point?
You already sold out businesses that were doing tremendously better than your so-called former enslavers.
You moved out of your neighborhoods. And I understand white people separate themselves by class. Trailer trash, stay in trailer trash. Middle class families stay in suburbs. Upper class families stay in mansions. We all have these areas in our town where the poor, especially when it comes to non-black, you've got the poor area of a non-black spot, the middle class area of a non-black spot, and the wealthy area of a non-black spot. It's just been over the past 10 years that us as black people, because of redlining, we now venture out into middle class and upper class areas, separating ourselves from our lower class denizens. But before, we were all stuck in one area. All right, because of redlining, we were all stuck in one area, so it was hard for us to differentiate. But ever since that happened, they freed that up. What was the complaint? What was the biggest complaint from women? How come y'all brothers leave the hood? Y'all get up, y'all get y'all education, and then y'all leave the hood. Was that not one of the things they used to talk about?
Because we don't want to get shot.
Exactly. We don't get the shot, rob,
why don't you come back? Because why don't you come back? Because y'all don't want us to take care of the hood and take clean ownership of the hood. You know what you want? You want us to be the facilitators, the donators of the hood, and not the actual owners and the CEOs of it.
You're like,
we saw what they did to Nipsey Hussle, so we ain't doing that shit.
do you know what happens? What happens when, let's say, a bunch of affluent black people, let's say they're redlined, they can't leave, a poor black area, so they decide to buy houses in that area. Who just left? Oh, what's his name? He'll be back. They now buy houses in that area. They fix the houses up. The houses become more valuable. What happens to the land tax to their house and the surrounding houses? They go up.
Yep.
They go up, which means now you have more affluent black people coming in and refurbishing houses. And what that does, that pushes the poor black people out. So where do they go?
To the even poorer places.
Yeah, shanty towns and whatnot. That's what normally happens when you force black people into an area, especially with the affluent blacks. You wonder why they don't come back. You better be glad they don't come back, because if they come back, your ass is out on the streets. In America, whites have community, blacks have neighborhoods after integration. No, we have communities. They have neighborhoods. We don't own grocery stores. We don't own banks. We don't own shit. We don't even own the damn Jiffy Lube. If anything, we might own the rib and the chicken shack. I'm here in Atlanta, and the best fish place around the corner is owned by Asians, owned by Koreans. They'll fry you up some fish. They got crab legs, all that stuff. Owned by Koreans. Brothers might own some barbershops or whatnot. Do you understand? Maybe a rim shop, maybe a vape shop here or there.
See, we don't even have neighborhoods. We have just a bunch of Negroes who live near each other.
We have communities.
Community means communal, meaning if my son needed a job, I could go to Bay and be like, hey, my son need a summer job. Can he help? Can you teach him about the business of your shop, or give him a couple of dollars for working in it?
Yeah. First thing I have them do is sweep the floors.
Sweep the floors, what's the one thing about sweeping the floors in a business, Bay?
It teaches discipline, pride in your work, character. It builds character, because once you sweep the floor, go over there, talk to Lewis, tell him, what's stocked, what needs to be stocked. He'll show you how. He'll go to Lewis. Lewis will be like, oh yeah, come here, let me put you with my floor manager. Teach him how to use a pricing gun and where this stuff go. Let's go. Yeah, we gonna put you to work.
That's how you're gonna get paid, but that's how you build a community, because you have control over the economics in that area.
You're building a network. That's why I was saying you have all these stores shutting down, but they're white owned. But you got black people threatening city leaders. If this grocery store shuts down, you will have hell to pay. With what? With what? How are you going to punish us? If the grocery store in your neighborhood shuts down because of theft and violence in the store, what do you want us to do? You're the ones that's stealing. You're the ones that's fighting each other. So what do you want me to do?
You're the ones that's detrimental to the store being open.
Thank you. It's your people that's causing the business to go out of business. And now that the business is out of business, you're threatening me. What are you threatening me with?
What a good time.
Right. What are you gonna do? Blow me behind the dumpster? Please keep the store open. Yum, 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 yum. Like what? What? You have nothing to threaten me with. You have no power. All you got is a whole lot of piss and vinegar.
And this is really what? Your fault.
Yes. These are your children that are in the store fighting and stealing. We say, did you hear about the Trader Joe's that was going to be opened in the hood in Portland? Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. No, they didn't. No, they're not. But see, I'll say this 1,000 times. Back when we used to have neighborhoods, true neighborhoods, where we own the grocery store, we own the bank, all right? We own the corner store, we own the candy shop, whatever. You knew not to go over there and mess around. You say, and the black liberal leaders shot it down. Good, they can starve. You knew not to steal from Mr. Johnson's grocery store because Mr. Johnson would be at your door. Talking to your mama, talking to your pops. You say it would have been community owned? That's even more pathetic. And you would get your ass whooped for stealing. But you knew better because you pretty much stealing from yourself. You stealing from the guy your father plays cards with on Saturdays or watch the game with on Sundays. Him and, the butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker, as reference. Do you understand what I'm saying? It was a tight-knit community amongst each other. You lost that.
You have lost that. And this is what happens when you let women dictate your class. Women don't believe in class. At least black women don't. Because
go ahead.
They want to be ratchet. They want Tupac in a suit.
We let if you really want to lay blame, we let white people, through white men, through their women, through white women. White women came into the civil rights movement, spreading legs, but laying poisonous seeds in the minds of the women, of the black women. Poisonous seeds of dissent amongst black women, and gave us all the white taco meat we could handle in order to keep us docile and out of the fray. This is why the bug-eyed chick talking about I was just in the civil rights movement just so you could sleep with white girls. Like, no. We were in the civil rights movement because we didn't want our son or daughter to end up like Emmett Till.
Yeah.
We got tired of getting up and having to sit on the back of the bus. I'm sorry, go on.
We got tired of not surviving because a white woman's issue, who probably freely fucked a black man. But guess what she's going to do? She's going to tell her daddy she was SA'd.
He looked raped me. You know how many black men were hung or lost their jobs because a white woman said that he looked great to them? Or he said something that she misinterpreted as something sexual because she has great fantasies about you. I've been there.
Think about it.
Let's get back to Charlie Kirk.
So I think I misjudged you at first. Like when you brought up the 1350 stat, I had like just assumed that it was like inherently like eugenics based, kind of, you know. So, and that's where mine came from. Like I think we are on the same page that like we know what the problem is, and that's what I mean. Like
No,
the
and
education.
that's thank you for saying that, because I think we actually have a lot more in common in this country than the media would ever believe.
No, definitely, right? And like what my point was, I was trying to say is I don't think that we're doing enough to help these black communities catch up. Where as like they're underfunded and they're not, and they're over policed, and there's just these factors that are contributing to, like you said, these single parent households.
Yeah,
like
so we're not going to agree on this. This is where we'll disagree, and that's okay. I have more of a view of Thomas Sowell on this, where he believes it's far more about culture, values, and worldview.
Pause it for a second. Once you hear, this is only for a second. Once you hear a white guy mention Thomas Sowell, you already know where the conversation's going to go.
I'm not even from. I've heard Thomas Sowell say some things that I didn't have an issue with, but his whole body of work I am not familiar with. But I understand that a lot of black people disagree with it. But also at the same time, a lot of black people think Trump is racist.
Yep.
So I would say that I'm reserving my opinion on Thomas Sowell until I actually
I will personally
study what he's talking about.
I will personally say this. Thomas Sowell is one of those dudes who he'll never tell you the reasons why you have criminality in the black community.
Is he a racism denier?
Basically.
So he's a Larry Elder.
Basically.
Okay. That's all I need to know. That's all the studying I need.
And I'm going to tell you, does he say some correct stuff?
Does he say stuff?
Does he say correct stuff? Sure. You know, with the whole there's no guarantees. There's only trade-offs. That's true. But at the same time, you will never. He's like Tatum. You will talk about issues in the black community, but you'll never talk about what caused the issues. What's the systematic sugar honey iced tea about it? But continue the video.
I think you need to tag Tatum and let him know you want to debate him. Cop to cop. Cop to cop. Because he's center right and you're center left. That would be a nice discussion.
I'm a moderate. Yeah, I'm a moderate.
Yeah.
Because I'm not as liberal as I'm not really liberal. I'm moderate, but it would be an interesting thing. I'm more of a realist in that factor, like you are, where it's like, look, I know about these issues, but we're not going to sit here and say black people are inherently violent. They're no violent than any other people. If anything, you kind of wish they were a little bit more violent, because look what happened during Jim Crow. Look what happened during slavery.
Like, look, white folks, if we want to get y'all asses, we'd have got y'all asses.
Mm-hmm.
We'd have got you by now.
Oh,
relax.
We would have, but let's be fair. A lot of your ancestors would have been caught up. Remember, we outnumbered you a lot of places in the South.
Oh,
and you got to think about it. If it wasn't for the psychological beating and the physical beatings, what happened when like the movie Birth of a Nation? What happened then?
It should have been plantation by plantation by plantation, clean sweeping.
Yep.
It should have been clean sweeping. They would have had to call in the army to slow it down from the north.
And you better pray that they slowed you down, because Spain or England probably would have served weapons over that bitch.
Yeah, because America was still having problems with both of those countries. That's why that whole sovereign citizen paperwork shit comes from.
Mm-hmm.
That whole treaty with Spain, which is so, please, that sucker doesn't even exist anymore.
Spain's not even a monarchy like that anymore.
Well, we got Snow in the house.
Get me out! It's my turn. You told me it was my turn.
What the snow?
Hey, what's going on? How are you?
That's the best I could do for you.
Hey,
Well,
fair enough. Fair enough.
We could do the Jolly Negro cigarettes. That's one Jolly Negro. Smell that arsenic.
Oh Lord. Shall we? Did you want to throw something in? Or shall we start the Charlie Kirk up?
I just got done with the national championship, so I'm just dropping by to say hi for a few minutes before I go crash.
So my Buckeyes won.
34-23.
I'm you know what? After this, I'm gonna go rub it in Shannon Sharp's face.
Good.
I'm gonna go
Continue to
rub
rub
it in his face.
Continue to rub it in Shannon Sharp's face. Hell of a game between both teams. Hell of a game. Ohio State led 31-7. Notre Dame made it interesting, but then Ohio State killed that last drive, and a field goal wrapped it up.
How did Howard look?
Fucking credible.
I think he just improved his draft stock.
I know he did.
Him and what about that defensive end from Ohio
Jack
State,
Sawyer?
the white guy?
Jack Sawyer?
Yeah, Jack Sawyer.
I think he improved his stock too. A national championship improves everybody's stock.
All right. I know when he was running with that fumble against Texas, they was playing the Jack Sparrow running music.
Yep.
That was funny.
Oh yeah.
All right. Okay.
All right. Let me get on out of here.
All right.
All right,
Thanks.
Charles. I will see you tomorrow night.
All right.
For that debate we talked about. All right.
All righty, cool. Just give me a text and call and remind me.
You got it.
All right.
Out.
Peace. Let's get back into it.
Stuff and over policing. I believe there's not enough police in black neighborhoods. You're going to disagree with that. Let's not even get into it, okay? But I think we can ask a question, and I want your opinion. Why is it that the single motherhood rate in black America went from 25% to 75% over 50 years, where America did become less racist?
Like, why did it?
Yeah, so what caused black America to go from one of the strongest nuclear family communities in the country to now the weakest by far?
I can't answer.
And
Okay, no, that's great. And is again, it's
this
hard
is
to
what
get.
happens, and this is going to be quick. This is what happens when, and you probably think it the same way. This is what happens when you have the person not ready to answer the question. They're uninformed.
Oh, but wait, there's more.
Go ahead.
Up and have these conversations. Here's my opinion. My opinion is that yes, there was some social welfare that subsidized single motherhood, which means it's easier to get cash from the government if you say you are single than if you are married. I think we can agree that's stupid. That shouldn't happen, right? But I would love your perspective on this. Do you think in black culture, getting married and staying with one woman for your entire life is elevated and celebrated?
No, not at all.
I think that's the problem.
I think the problem stems from a lack of education. I think these communities don't have. I don't think a lot of them have the proper education or learning from previous to realize what will lead them to a more successful future.
Did you hear what this fool just said? Well, let me read what Nub Glory wrote. He said, okay, so Jibber Jab said integration, but Nub Glory wrote, white liberals who control the Democratic Party and the mainstream media, among other things, are trying to replace FBA men in sports. We should get protectionist legislation from Trump. Are you serious?
Oh, well, look at it this way, right?
In what, baseball? Hockey? Because basketball and football, you can forget it. And unfortunately, those sports are dying off. Basketball, the ratings for the NBA is down, what, 63%?
What it used to be?
Yeah, it's down 63%.
Because of this softball they play.
Yeah, and the NFL is down like 43%. Those sports are going away, or they're no longer going to be prime sports in America.
And
Now,
then you got to remember, you're increasing a larger Hispanic culture. So guess what's becoming going to be big. It's going to be your soccers.
Yeah. Blood Boiling said more policing is not going to solve problem entirely. It may hamper crime rates, but if you want crime rates to truly drop, then fix the culture. Change the laws to secure and promote fatherhood. Exactly. This guy, Charlie Kirk, is saying you need fathers in the home, right? Little bastard son of Grimace here is saying, no, it's not fatherhood. You need education.
Here's the part. Here's the part where I agree with Charlie, but Charlie is being disingenuous because either he knows or doesn't know why you don't need as many police. The only reason why you need more police in the black community, because statistically, your chances go up at least to the 70s of prison, 80s of prison time of being in a single mother home. But who leaves the family? Who leads the family? Who goes out of their way to push the father out? Which culture came into our culture to tell the woman they didn't need a man? Continuing.
You have to have males to control other males. Yeah. See, make law enforcement and legal system more aware and dole out consequences for false accusations towards black men. And the ratings are down because of all the black foreigners and the white liberals are bringing into the NBA. Black foreigners are boring and don't bring the same style to the game. Well, from what I understand, Glory, it's because of all of the traveling and the wasted 3-point shooting, and LeBron, of course, like everything in the NBA kind of circles around that. Has been. I mean, goddamn, when he forced his son onto the Lakers, you knew the jig was up. You knew the NBA was dead then. But, say example, prisons, military males keep order, i.e. NCOs. All right, let's get back to it. Wait till you hear this guy. Wait till you hear this shit.
I think that if we funded more education in these systems, then these men wouldn't be so focused on stuff like gang violence to get protection or money or
you have a
other
great
stuff like that, and then end up in prison and then end up with their child having a single mother.
Fair enough.
Now, keep in mind, he's only talking about what, 18 to 23% of the population.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And then on top of that, let's look at this. You could tell this guy was not raised by a father because this guy looks about as shaky. He looked like he would shake your hand with a limp wrist. And I'm not saying that he's gay. I'm just saying that he's soft. He's soft. He's nervous to come up there. You know, guess what? My motto is, does he bleed? Then we're equal. Okay? And first of all, why does this white boy think he know more about your community than you?
Oh,
where do we have that?
Oh, wait! Now you was calling out some things. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
So,
sorry, I didn't.
No, it's great. So there's a lot of examples that there's some merit to your argument, but it's more about the quality of education than the amount of money we spend on it.
Yeah.
Such as that's why I'm a big proponent of school choice and educational vouchers and opposing the teacher unions. But the core is this. Is that the number one predictor for a kid of any skin color, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, is whether or not dad is around.
Right.
And I look, as an outsider, albeit, at current black culture, right? From the athletes to the rap music to the music, I don't see the nuclear family elevated. Nor is it an internal black cultural expectation. Now, I will ask some of the white individuals here in this audience, okay? If you guys got pregnant and all of a sudden you didn't even know who the father was around, how would your parents react? Not great, right? Yes? Unfortunately, in black America, this is kind of accepted. Would you agree?
I can't say. I grew up around a lot of white people, so I can't
all right,
say.
Okay, but it is a fact.
Did you hear that?
I grew up around white. So why the fuck you talking about shit that you have no knowledge? You were selected to talk. That's what it was. There's not gonna be a Bay. There's not gonna be a fucking Lewis Collier. There's not gonna be a Charles Lawrence Faulkner Jr., an LAPD SWAT, a jibber jabber, a Nub Glory. None of this. A BGS Itmore, an Angry Man, whoever you favor. Somebody who you can't pull the wool over their eyes and say this shit. Because first and foremost, they don't talk about the white community, how they have a out of wedlock birth rate.
Charlie actually does address that. I give Charlie Kirk credit. He does address a lot of white problems. It's just that this right here, whenever he has a black person come up, this is the conversation. But he does address a lot of the white issues.
See, what's bigger? What's the biggest 3 issues in the black community?
Fatherhood, economics, and crime.
And doesn't the fatherhood solve all 3?
Yes.
So here's the question. If you can incentivize single motherhood, can you incentivize fatherhood? Why don't you?
He say, let's see. Well, okay. To answer your first question, this whole situation, whenever you see a Charlie Kirk video in a setting like this, he's on the college campus. This is why a little dude like, Grimace's bastard son will be in front of a mic. All right. These are like behind a lot of this guy. I mean, you see, you got some older people, but behind these are college kids. Do you understand? Some of these are just followers of Kirk, but this is a college campus. Same thing with your girl, Candace Owens. She goes on the college campuses because they're trying to reach the youth. They'll never run into a me or a you or a Lewis or anybody like that, because that's not where we are.
No.
And we would give them a damn good debate. You know what I'm saying? But I think we would still have, that's why like Blood Boiling, he said, I noticed they never interview individuals like Dennis Sperling, Tommy Curry, etc. Like I would call that WB. I know what you meant by WB. I'll tell them to get the step and let my people go. Y'all are killing me. But he can only debate it from his side, just like the Grimace kid can only debate it from his side. They can only debate each other from their knowledge base. We would mop the floor with Grimace and Charlie at the same time. Charlie got facts, but he doesn't have all the facts. He's skirting certain issues. But this kid right here is just
he doesn't even know
on YouTube. Yeah,
it's like this. Obviously, this kid is most likely mixed, right?
He looks it, yeah.
So, and nothing against being mixed, because we still trying to figure out if Lewis is black or not. Just joking, but but
don't wake up tied up in a boat.
He knows I'm fucking with him. He knows I'm fucking with him.
Found the gang in the middle of the Atlantic.
Yeah, but here's the crazy part, right? He mostly was raised around white people, right?
Yeah.
And so especially when you have a more open racial acceptance now than you ever did before. On those college campuses, you can't be a certain way to be accepted on college. At least not now, because right now you're seeing a softer side of Sears, as they used to say.
With nothing but microaggressions. Everywhere is a microaggression.
Everywhere is a microaggression. Come out. Don't worry, I'm gonna have a new short coming out that you're gonna die laughing about. It's a new superhero team.
Oh Lord. He asked you a question.
Oh, what's the question?
He said, did the occupation forces try these asymmetrical tactics with the Iraqi people?
Yes or no? Because when you're going against a local nationals, there's gonna be a bit of ignorance and arrogance. And what was their response? They IED'd the shit out of you. They mortared the shit out of you. And what you started doing, you had to be very careful and respectful because you didn't know who you came across. They were either going to save your life or they could possibly get you set up to take it. And when you look at this engagement on the college courses or the college campuses, I respect him. He does get, I've seen his materials before. He does get into white people's asses about their problems. But to look at the face value of saying, why don't we have fathers? That's surface shit. Now, why isn't the father there? Nobody asked that question. Why doesn't the father control the children? Nobody asked that question. If you ask those questions, then you have to go back into the white government structure of who incentivize, not only incentivize, but reinforce this behavior.
And that's why we're not there. Because that would be our answer exactly. You ready for some more?
Ready for some football? A Monday night party.
Right? So that's the problem. The problem is that it's a cultural norm that has then turned into the cycle of poverty. The cycle of poverty can break very quickly if fathers stayed with the women they impregnate.
But most of these fathers aren't just leaving. A large majority of these fathers are ending up in prison. Like,
Okay,
this is
good point. How do you
Actually, a large percentage of the fathers
Are not in prison.
are not in prison. A large percentage of these fathers are being ostracized from their children. Women are using men as sperm banks. They get pregnant. After they announce they're pregnant, within 2 to 3 months, or even sometimes 5, like before the baby is born, the mother suddenly decides that she doesn't want anything to do with you. And next thing you know, you're on child support. This is the whole purpose of, what, as I was saying, based on the Tennessee model, there's going to be a national DNA test for concerning childbirth. And then that way you'll get some real numbers as to whose father's out here. And once you cut off the spigot, once you cut people off of the government teat, these women will be more incentivized to stay with the father, especially if they can't survive off the child support. I personally said that child support should be capped at 20% of the father's net income. It should, or better yet, gross income. If you really want to, make sure the kid is doing okay, 20% of his gross income.
And he should be able to take it off on his taxes.
Right. But that's if the father is the breadwinner. My whole point, oh God, I wrote about this. I did the whole 8 steps thing. The mother should not be awarded automatic custody. Custody should be determined by who brings in the most income. And if the breadwinner happens to be the father, then he can go ahead and set, like, well, how do you want to work out the custody arrangement, sir? Do you want custodial custody, or do you want to grant custodial custody to the mother? If you do that, you're going to have to pay your 20% child support. But if you retain custodial custody, she'll have to pay 20% in child support. At the same time, you both have to sign an order concerning visitation. Neither one of you can, whoever is custodial parent or not, you cannot kidnap your child and use them as a weapon or hold them against the other parent. That would be a felony.
Mm-hmm.
That would be considered a felony, imposed to at least 2 weeks to a month in jail. You say another Kirk stands is that's how they are argument. Is my opinion correct? Not really. He's just talking about a systemic situation that we're covering, that we as black people that we're going through, but without having to get white people's hands dirty. You say the first clue of their intentions can be seen when the Euros first showed up in the benign empire. Go look at the images. They were carrying swords when first meeting. Oh yeah. I mean, hell, look, if you step on the shores of an unknown island, I'm pretty sure you'd be carrying a gun too, or a sword or whatever too. It's the first time I go and meet someone, I'm not brandishing weapons. Well, you know, you didn't just step 2-3 months off of a boat into uncharted lands. Go over to the Senegalese islands. Go over there and say hi. I'm here to say hi and eat fish.
I'm here to talk to you about my religion.
Yeah. He told you about my car, about your car insurance. Your ass will be spit roasting. You better come off that island with a weapon. I mean, you have to understand these were signs of the times. You know, this is a whole different era. But we're getting off track. You say, will the reduction of child support even stop the women from trying to make the father's life a living hell? Well, no.
Well, to a certain extent, yes and no.
Yeah.
Because here's the problem. She can't use money to bankrupt you. But she's going to try to be a bitch. A bitch is a bitch, then a bitch is going to be a bitch. So here's the issue with a lot of women, especially in our community, and which you learn during studies. A lot of these children are not born out of love.
You a check baby.
You're a check.
You a check baby. Or a club baby, or backseat of a car baby, on the first date baby, or
OnlyFans.
Yeah, OnlyFans baby, or you know, friends with benefits baby.
Or I like to call it, I need a couple of dollars and I gotta pay this bill, baby.
I'm in a bind, Nate baby. I mean, let's be honest. A lot of us, even my mother told me about when my father proposed. She told him, hey, I was pregnant. She was like, hey, I'm pregnant. So she said a week later, you know, he pulled a ring out of his pocket. They was walking in the snow. He didn't even have a car. Cleveland. Said he pulled a ring out of his pocket. I was like, well, let's get married. Like, you know what? Let's get married. And they got married. She was 6 months pregnant by the time they got married. You know? Didn't even need the shotgun. That was back when men were trying to be honorable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You say teach kids to follow pragma romance model. Shit. Hell, lucky I ain't the king. We be doing prima nocta. But that's a whole different story. You say police should be educated on how to deal with bitter baby mamas and their tactics to abuse and alienate the father. That's why I was talking about the child support laws and visitation. A father, whoever is the non-custodial parent, should carry around a legal card, all right, laminated, saying, hey, look, I am granted visitation on, every weekend, every other weekend, from Friday to Sunday, whatever.
Let's go back to that statement real quick.
Go ahead.
Not the blood boiling one.
Which
So
one?
the police should. Who said we're not? One of the biggest demographics of people who suffer under child support are the police officers. There's a lot of cops paying child support for kids. Think about it. In Baltimore, family court is only 2 blocks away from police headquarters.
Come bring you a sandwich, cucumber sandwich, and some watermelon juice for lunch, and then skip their ass with child in hand. The family court. Let me stop. Shit, really, I had no idea. Yeah, a lot of cops get divorced because of, some cops have a problem with bringing stress from the job. They don't know how to leave it at the door.
And it's also because you're guaranteed to get your pension.
Yeah. So, getting back to that, when you have that laminated card, you just show the cop, like, yes, I get the child on summers from June whatever to be in between the whatever, however it's written up, it's on the card. You just show the cop the card, be like, yo, it's my weekend, here's the card. And cop look at the card, be like,
you know how that's screwy? Guess who messes it up all the time? It's the women.
Yeah.
Because you have, from start of this, you have every third weekend or every third week, whatever is in the contract, because that's how the court order is written.
Right.
It's the women who screw it up the most. Why? Because they will hold a child, they will ignore it, and then it's not what you write, it's what you can enforce. And being that child custody and child support is a civil family issue, there's only but so much we can do.
That's what I'm saying. It becomes a crime when you do parental alienation like that. So it's like, hey, look, okay, well, ma'am, this is his weekend. What's the problem? Well, the car seat, or like, ain't nothing wrong with no daggone car seat. Like, you know what? Come on, let's go. Put your hands behind your back. Yeah, you'll see the judge on Monday, and then you can explain to the judge in family court why you're here. I'll write up the report. I'll turn in the body cam evidence, and they can see for themselves, and then they'll determine whether or not you spend 2 weeks to a month in jail for parental alienation. You do it twice. Every time you do it, that's 2 more weeks added on to the original 2-week sentence to a month and a half, 2 months, 2.5 months. I'll just keep adding on time. Keep dicking around. Because that whole situation where the mother's boyfriend, y'all remember that? It was like last year or something, where the mother and the boyfriend, they set the father up. He was supposed to pick the kids up at 3 o'clock. The mother and the boyfriend showed up late and didn't have the kids. So the father was arguing with the mother. The boyfriend jumped in it, getting up in the guy's face, being Captain Save-A-Ho. He got pushed. He ran back in the house, got his gun, and wound up shooting and killing the father. And they were trying to say self-defense. No, you the father and the mother, not the father, the boyfriend and the mother, they should be in prison. Because the mother facilitated the actions of the boyfriend. If the custodial parent, would have had the kids where they were supposed to have been, none of that would have happened, right? Oh, he's busy. But none of that would have happened. So therefore, she's guilty of facilitating his murder.
Murder by proxy.
Yes. Like, I'm pretty shocked. I mean, I thought being a part of law enforcement would give you advantage in family courts and less likely to suffer abuse and alienation because you literally have police.
You're a guaranteed check. That's why it's worse.
You say BTC. Y'all are what is BTC? Y'all are the first people I've heard talk about the high number of failures of women of color political officers. Oh yeah, Molly, you okay? You're not one of my subscribers, but this very channel that I'm talking on, Embrace Villainy, that's all I covered. Police backing up or confirming your innocence. Oh, oh, okay. I see what he was saying. He said, all right. He said less likely to suffer abuse and alienation because you literally have police backing up or confirming your innocence. Shit, that's family court. That's a whole different animal. It's not criminal. It's not civil. That's family. I mean, family is civil. It's a form of civil, but what is having your sergeant and your major and your cop buddies and all that? That's not gonna help you. Those laws need to be changed. They need to be changed. They need to be changed. And again, custodial parent should be whoever is the breadwinner, and they determine visitation, but visitation has to be at least 4 times a month. 4 weekends a month is feasible for the non-custodial parent.
It should actually be, because I know in most states you have equal custody. It should be half and half. Half of the week you get the kid, other half depending on the schedules. But
you can work that out as the custodial parent. You can work that out with the non-custodial. They should actually have you sit down with a mediator, especially if y'all are having issues. That's
another problem. Most mediators are women.
Well,
that's why you need more male judges.
Yeah. You say my thoughts on Karen Bass. Oh, I did a whole thing on that California fires. Karen Bass she's a Marxist communist who, of course, is gleeful that California burned. She's all about destroying the system, and as far as she's concerned, order is the system. Say family court judge is an important position to vote for. Yeah, that's why people love Judge Judy. That's where she came up from, family court, and she used to hold women. She still, even on her little freebie show, I catch it every now and then. She's still holding women accountable. Let's get back to the Kirk. It's almost over.
Why do you go to prison?
Because you commit crime, but
because
the prison system has been targeted against minorities.
Again, we're not going to agree here,
right,
and that's okay.
Yeah.
There's actually under enforcement of the laws where there's, for example, only half of murders in Chicago get solved.
Right, but
I would say especially within the last 4 years.
If they're not solved,
I'll concede that the past 4 years, most definitely.
A black victim in a black neighborhood by a black gang. So it's like you can assume at a great approximation that in the west side of Chicago,
50% of the murders in Chicago that go unsolved are all black people.
Not all. No, I said 85%. But we don't know who the perp is. But again, if you have a black victim at 2 a.m. in a black neighborhood, it's reasonable to say that it was a black on black crime. 90% of murders after 2 a.m. in Chicago are black on black crimes. I'm from Chicago. Right. I happen to know it. Right. But like half of all murders in Chicago are unsolved, which that means half of all murderers are walking free. So we have an under enforcement of laws. We have the ladies here in this audience should know this. You know that there's over 600,000 rape kits in this country that have not even been opened or tested, which means that there are women who say that they've been raped and their kits are not even put in the system. There are probably hundreds of thousands of rapists that walk free in this country.
Yeah, no, our system is.
Pause.
That's an under enforcement of laws.
Yeah, because our system.
Here's the bullshit of that.
Okay.
Because if you say that I might have been whatever, I don't want to report it to the police. It's called a safe kit, and a safe nurse, a forensic nurse, a specially trained nurse, will conduct the kit where police are not called, and they can keep it for storage. But they don't want to talk about when he said a lot of ladies know this. We also know there's a lot of ladies who lied about being raped or raped.
Your
There's
body
a
will show physical signs, most especially your vagina, because of tears. Am I lying?
Right. Even though it doesn't always have to be, but sometimes it is.
Right. Was that it? Oh, okay. So you said Blood Boiling asked, do you think there should be a qualification exam for couples who want to be parents? Do you think such method would prevent irresponsible pregnancies? Oh my God, you're talking about dystopian future stuff, which I kind of agree with, but what you would be doing is you would be violating people's choice, both male and female. I mean, it probably work out great for men, but you know, women, they, I mean, it's their bodies. It's their bodies. It's their bodies. I mean, why do you think you have women that go to sperm banks? Oh, but speaking of women that went to sperm banks, did y'all see what is the little lawyer chick, Ebony K. Williams? Did y'all see her baby?
No.
She got herself a little white baby. That baby is a Caucasian from the Caucasus Mountains. That baby's credit score is at 870. For the record.
Wow.
Yeah. But you know, that's her choice.
Well, she got what she wanted.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But you said we have an over enforcement. I don't think we have enough people in jail.
You don't think we have enough people?
No, like I said,
Yeah.
half of all murderers walk free. We don't even know who they are.
Okay, but I sure, whatever. But I'm talking. I don't think that I don't think that black people are.
By the way, I agree with you, Blood Boy. There should be a qualification exam, but you know, dystopian future, and the gender is a boy. She had a boy, Blood Boy.
As like half more than 50% of exonerations from prison are black people. Like a black person is more likely than any other race to be tried for a crime that they did not commit, and then to be released from prison for a crime that they did not commit.
That's not totally true. Let's pretend that it is. It's because they're in front of the justice system more because of the high crime. But let's try to find some agreement.
I'm talking percentages of exonerations. Like they're
no, it's because they're in the system more though. It's because you have more cases. But anyway, let's pretend that's true. Let's pretend the system's totally racist.
Actually, there's more white people in the system because.
So first there's more blacks, now it's more white.
So you're just incorrect there.
Look here, little confused boy.
Okay, so
shut up and let the man talk.
You're not being, so let's calm down a little bit, okay?
You're not being.
Am I being sweet to this guy?
Okay, but
all right. Let me ask you one question in closing, though. If you could, okay, if you could say to Black America, here is more money, more stuff, more housing, or more fathers, which one would you choose?
More fun.
What would you choose, Lewis?
More fathers.
What would you choose, Charles? More funding or more fathers? Oh, he's probably busy. So this is his fool's answer.
More funding. I don't think, because fathers, I think that you need to solve the problem from the bottom. I don't think you can just plant a bunch of fathers in and they're going to stay there. Like you said, they're just going to, like in the culture, it's not part of the culture. So they would just leave.
It's a hypothetical, meaning if the fathers were to stay.
Were to stay?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure. If I just knew for 100% fact that they were going to stay.
No,
sure.
we have agreement. So during the BLM stuff 4 years ago, did we hear anything from the national BLM leaders or anybody about black dads staying around with women they impregnate? Did anyone mention that?
No.
Why? It's the fundamental issue. The fundamental issue is if you have a father around, less likely to commit crimes, more likely to graduate high school, more likely to get a job, less likely to be in poverty.
How do we get there? Like, this is what I'm like,
no,
how do we get there?
Well, the first of which is you must raise the standard of expectation, both internally and externally in the black community, that we're not going to put up with men, because we're both men, fleeing the women that they impregnate. Yeah. That we will say to men that flee the women that they impregnate. You're a loser. We're not going to tolerate you. We're not going to be friends with you. That you're the scum of the earth. That if you impregnate a woman and you just run away from them.
Most definitely.
Do we do that right now?
I don't think all men do. I think this is very common. What's the word I'm looking? I think this is very common in just masculine culture in general. Is that men won't do that too?
I actually think it's the opposite of masculine culture.
Like,
too. I think it's not feminine. It's something else.
No.
Just fleeing from the difficult.
Well, no, but I'm saying in male circles. I feel like that is something that males would praise, or at least around my age range. That's something that happens.
So then I think we need to demand better. Thank you for coming up to the mic. I know it's not easy, and God bless you.
First and foremost, neither one of them understand that we actually do talk about that. We do talk about dick control, not dick policing. Y'all out here sleeping with my girls. No, we don't do that over here. We don't do that over here. We don't police. But we do talk about control. Wear your condoms. It's more than just getting a chick pregnant out here that you have to worry about. These chicks be having herpes. There's now HIV has jumped back into the mix, especially with brothers overseas in both South America and in
Asia.
Southeast Asia.
Hey, I said Asia.
Yeah.
Sex tourism.
Yeah, it's like, you got to put. Sorry, let me back this up. I want to be able to see that.
No.
Hold on, let me mute it. You say Kirk knows BLM is a Marxist, anti-family, anti-male organization. Yeah, Oh yeah, trust me. He knows. He hangs out with Candace. They know that it's, why you think it has the nickname Black Lesbian Mansions? But yeah, we don't abandon. You might get the lower 20%, like a Cam Newton or whatnot. Cam may not have abandoned his kids because he can afford to see them, just like Future and matter of fact, what's
Nick
his name?
Cannon.
Yeah, Nick Cannon. Adrian Peterson didn't even know he had a son till he found out he had a son that 2 weeks later was murdered by the mother's boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? You have some of these guys, they out here pumping and dumping like it's crazy, like it's going out of style, whether they're rich or poor. Money doesn't kill your pookiness. It only enhances it, Cam Newton. It only enhances your pookie nature, Future. But if these guys are not spending time with their kids the way that the way they want us to think that they are, because you never see them with pictures of them on their social media platforms or nothing like that. You notice they don't even tell stories about their kids. When's the last time Future saw the kid that he had with Sierra?
Don't know.
Exactly. Don't know. Every time we look up, Sierra got all 5 of the kids. You don't hear nothing about Future. First, Future wanted to beat him up. Now it's like he want nothing to do with the damn kid. So just because you out here having kids, it don't mean that all of the men are abandoning them. If they really did come into some of these spaces, these quote unquote manosphere spaces, black manosphere spaces, they would know that, these women are pumping and dumping, dudes that's over the age of 30 wearing ripped up, colorful jeans showing their butt cheeks, you know what I'm saying? With gold fronts in their mouth looking like Deion Sanders 1989. And not with guys that, of course, look like Purple Grimace here, or me, you, Charles, or this black guy right here in the screen. Even though y'all two have children, You know what I'm saying? Y'all two have children, but y'all are very active in your children's lives, are you not?
Yep.
Your son lives with you. I think Charles' son lives with him. I think he has split custody, not to put his business out there. But you know what I'm saying? Active fathers, mine's in his bed. He's in his bed, sleeping. You know what I'm saying? You are, if you're an active father, they're not talking about you. But if you're out here, you got to fight with this chick to get custody. She tripping about child support. You doing parental alienation. You know, you dealing with her goofy little simp ass boyfriend who think he tough. You know, think that he trying to step into your shoes. That's the one thing I never did. The single mothers that I dated, I never tried to step in those kids' father's shoes. I may teach you some things that you need to know because your father's not here. I'll step up and do that. This is how this is how you do chores. This is how you study. This is how you do your schoolwork. This is how you do laundry. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. I stepped up and did things like that, but I was not trying to be your goddamn daddy, if that makes any sense. Don't call me daddy. My name is Bay. Call me Bay. Don't call me daddy. As a man, if you're under my roof, you're under my charge, you're under my care, then that's what you're going to get. You're going to get top-notch care. You're not, I don't know you. Am I making sense?
Yeah, you make a lot of sense.
I mean, I'm just from my personal standpoint. But outside of that, if I have children, I'm going to do what I can to make sure those kids are in my life. Even if I have to brainwash and psychologically convince the mother that, yeah, let the kids stay with me and you can go out and be the biggest hoe. I mean, I wouldn't say that. But you go out and accomplish your dreams. Come by anytime. The door's always open. Call first. I might have call first to make sure we're here. How about that? Make sure we're here. Even though really it's because I might be laid up with another chick. But, call, make sure we're here. That way my kids are raised under my roof, my direction. They're not being raised by some chick that I knocked up. And she's out here twerking on top of her car, her and 3 of her friends at the gas station, while my kid is sitting up there looking. I'll be damned if my son is on tape trying to stop his mother from twerking at a wedding reception while in a dress. I'll be damned. I have to choke you, the mother, for doing that. Where's your self-respect? But there was a reason why, if Charlie Kirk and Son of Grimace actually came into these spaces, I mean, how the hell do you have a whole Kevin Samuel situation and you don't know that one of the biggest things that we preached is that, marry before you carry. That don't go just for women. That goes for us too. Stop getting these chicks pregnant. Wear some damn protection. Herpes doesn't go away forever, just for a minute. I'm back from vacation. Sex destroys us. Let's just be honest. Sex destroys us. No matter which economic ladder, rung of the economic ladder we're on, sex destroys us. I don't see us getting out of this hole. Not as a people. The psychological damage is already done. The money is there. It's not like we're broke. The finances are there, The willpower is not, because we quote unquote hate each other. We hate each other, be it figuratively or literally. I'm sorry, I'm sitting up here, I'm in my head because I hate that what I said last year ring has come to ring true. That for the next, it's like from now on, in all honesty, we should dissipate. We're already separated. Now we need to dissipate. The Trump administration is going to make sure of that. Trust me, they're not saying anything about black people directly. But if you actually listen to what he said, if you aren't financially stable, you are shit out of luck. If you're not a financially stable person, let's say black, you out here crying about TikToks. You say coochie is one hell of a drug. Yeah, it is.
You know, this goes back into what we talked about, right? The black community should be ashamed about accepting criminality as law. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, how many times have I said we promote, defend, and celebrate black criminality to the point where we think getting arrested for committing a crime is racist?
We think that coming out of jail is a rite of passage. You're pirates. You got a pirate ass mentality.
Oh, shame has come back. Shame has come back. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Charles. I'm sorry.
We're gonna get into that with the shame. You saw the whole, what was it, Charlie Kirkland?
Yeah.
You saw the whole thing about Charlie. Homeboy, as a black male, didn't want to admit that there's a problem when you don't have fathers in the goddamn home. Something's wrong with that.
He probably grew up without a father. He probably got a white mother staying in a white suburb.
Yeah.
He don't have a father.
And most of the time, people don't want to have those hard conversations of saying, you were a Saturday night special. Daddy did not put it in mommy's mouth. He let it go in the womb, and here you are. Please.
I don't have that on the hard drive. This is a whole new computer from the last time I have it. I mean, I have it on one of the discs, probably on this disc, but I'm not about to dig through that. But I know what you're talking about. The chick was saying stealing is reparations. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's the part about the criminality that always gets me. Stealing is reparations.
Meanwhile, stores are shutting down. That's why you don't have stores in your neighborhoods now, because stealing is reparations. You were trying to make a point. I'm sorry.
And you actually made a couple of points for me. Look at this shit. Stealing. You're worried about trying to fit the status quo. Your ghetto ass mentality is not a status quo, nor shall it ever be. And what's fucked up about it, what's really fucked up about it is this. You can't, for the life of me, I mean for the God-given life of me, give me one example where we're making overachievers by the dozen in the black community, but we're making a whole lot of fucking criminals. We're making a whole lot of single moms. Think about it. No matter, besides yourself, Lewis, BGS, how many times have we said the shit and the issues we got with our community is not even just generational, it's not even class, because every class of black woman has that same fucked up mentality. Every class of black men, same fucked up black mentality. They think we tend to think this shit is cute. And what's happening? You have a new administration who's not about kissing your ass. They're cutting back on shit. They're trying to hold what they got, to hold the empire together by glue, sutures, and a prayer. And you really think that motherfuckers who don't bring any infrastructure to the country, that you think you're going to be tolerated? If we're willing to let fucking migrants go who do the dirty work for us, what the fuck you think we weren't ready for you?
If you have no value, you're going to be discarded.
Exactly. Say that louder again.
If you have no value, you will be discarded.
And it's gonna come and it's coming the time when we warned them. During this time, we were like, hey, you know Trump's gonna run again. If he gets past that court case, he's president. And here's the crazy part. When have you seen Trump make the same mistake twice?
You don't.
He's coming back with a serious fucking vengeance. And he's got the people around him. He made sure everybody he put in his cabinet is tight.
Oh, he vetted the hell out of everybody this time.
Oh, vetted the fuck out of him.
There was no playing around.
RFK Jr., right, is about 69, 70 years old doing pull-ups. And he's what, with the Food and Health Administration?
Yes.
But y'all don't want to be healthy. What is he going to talk about our health needs? A lot of your needs are not medicinal. It's nutritional.
Here's what, when Trump was talking about the healthcare industry, the reason why he put RFK Jr. in charge is because if you look at a box of Frosted Flakes here, you got a ton of all of these additives and preservatives. But if you look at a box of Frosted Flakes for Canada, it's just got,
You got less. You got a fourth of the shit we got on it, and then ours.
Exactly. It's the same box of cereal coming from the same plant. It's just that theirs is not loaded up with chemicals, additives, and preservatives. So that's what he's there to do. His job is to cut out the middleman.
Mm-hmm.
You cut out the middleman. Therefore, there have been like passport people. I don't want to call them bros, but passport people. They say, hey, over there, I can have a burger and fries, and I'm hungry about an hour or two later, and I'm not gaining weight. I eat a burger and fries here. It's sitting on me all day.
Yeah. All those steroids and preservatives. You wonder, and I know this is on a side note, and I'm glad you mentioned that. I go through Facebook dating app, right?
Trying to get you some trim. It's okay.
No,
trim.
Oh, everybody trying to get a little trim once in a while.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with it.
and I notice why I'm disgusted. 90% of the women on there are obese.
They're like Jabba the Hutt.
That's how they look like they speak to me.
6 feet 6 inches.
And I mean, they look like 70s pro wrestlers, burly, and I'm like,
Looking like
Do you
Dick the
think-
Bruiser.
yeah, they look like they're built like Bam Bam Bigelow without the agility.
Damn.
And you're telling me, especially in our community, why are the women so large? Does it have something with all the preservatives and chemicals in the food?
Snack foods.
And you got to think about it. Our women are addicted to food.
That's, because they eat their feelings.
Yeah.
They eat their feelings. That's what it is. They eat their feelings. And because of that, all they do is eat. And you wonder why. I know
It's all circular.
you wonder why they turn around and their EBT cards are empty come the first, because of where they go to buy their snack foods. You got, and I'm telling this to you, fellas, and whoever else is listening. Stop going to these Asian and Indian, but most especially these Arab stores to get something to eat real quick, a snack or whatnot, especially using your EBT card. Those people put skimmers on their own stuff.
Yeah.
And they wipe you out.
And a high price.
And a lot of times, low quality.
Shoot. That's why the whole tap thing is so essential. It's so essential because you tap it, they're not getting all of your information like that. But you got to swipe the EBT card. You swipe it, then put in your code. You gave them access. You literally gave them access to your card.
Every foreigner tends to be what? A schemer.
Kamala. No, what did the dude call her? Skamala? Skamala. When she was running, you had the Indian dude making fun of her.
Skamala.
Yeah, calling her Skamala.
They call me Kamala, but I call her Skamala. Oh my God.
Is she sure you try to run a scam on there? But go on. I'm sorry.
I'm just so fucking. That's so hilarious. But I'm just looking at it. Look how everything is coming together in a full circle conversation. You wonder why your obesity rates are. You got all these fucking chemicals that are made to make a fucking bull 3,000 pounds. You're taking all these chemicals up there, and you can't even break it down in your system, and you wonder why you're 5'4", 350 pounds, and you like, God damn. You wonder why.
Go ahead.
You wonder why the struts on your car is like, fuck it. You wonder why the asphalt, they charge you an asphalt tax because you're so damn heavy.
You wonder why your 12-year-old, 13, 14-year-olds are built like grown women. Remember that was popping off?
Yeah, overdeveloped because of the hormones and the steroids and the chicken.
Yo, I'll see you guys later.
All right,
All right, bro.
You wonder why a lot of those guys, like y'all claiming all these men preying on these girls. And I'm like, first of all, you look at some of the girls they were messing with, you would have thought they were 21 too, the way they built. Got bigger titties and ass than their mothers.
You know what? Remember when that chick, when she was talking about some the Anton Daniels chick.
Oh, when they were victims too?
Yeah, y'all was just mad because we was messing with the grown men in high school and they was preying on us. No. You were preying on them. Yeah. It was a mutual illegal relationship.
And the only reason it wasn't consensual because you were underage.
Exactly.
But you were fully competent and willing to know what was going on. You were full in it.
What's going on, electrician 480?
What did he say? We should call them what? We should call them hippos for their size and violent temperaments. I think we should call them Gyno-Americans. We call them gynocrats. I call them rhinocrats.
We need to clean. Oh, well, it's not a we, it's a they. The government, they're going to clean all this up. Phosphates, sulfates, and hormone blockers in food changes body and brain chemistry. Yeah, they're going to clean all that up.
And then you wonder why the life expectancy in this country has went down.
He said there's not a lot of these young women praying grown adult men. I'm going to take that as sarcasm.
Yeah, that's sarcasm. Shout out to my boy, electrician. It's funny as fuck, man, because when you look at this situation, yeah, the Biden administration would have had us at nuclear war, man. If Kamala would have got in, we'd have been fucked.
More than we would care to know.
And not in a good way. You're not going to get flowers on this one. You got to look at it like people try to say, well, it's racist to build a wall. But is it racist if somebody who's not natural born citizens and illegal citizens or illegal people, because you can't have an illegal citizen, should they be able to get housing and stuff above poor Americans who need it?
No. 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 No.
And yes, and that's the reason why liberalism, to a good extent, because we need some of it, liberalism, when left unchecked, becomes very bleeding heart.
It becomes what we just voted out of office.
Exactly.
You say, y'all, True Blocker, what's up? He said, y'all know it's black men's fault. We haven't built personal gyms in all their homes. Like they would use it anyway. They probably be afraid to sweat their perm out.
Man, they probably put clothes on it. That'd be the most expensive clothes hanger you'll ever see.
I got the treadmill right here on the floor, no handles. No handles. Either I'm walking on it or I'm stepping over it, but it's easier to walk on it. They claim they are concerned about climate change, but push Warwick leaves a large carbon footprint. What?
I mean, you got to think about this, right?
Oh, push war, which leaves a large carbon footprint. Is that what you're trying to say? They push war? Okay. Yeah. Well, they try not to. What's going on, electrician? They try not to. They're trying not to. That's the whole purpose of Trump being in office, is to shut that down.
It has to be something when you have the so-called warmonger says we don't need war. And that's the part that got me, when you could see the media interfering, and that lets you know about the media. This presidential campaign season that we just got out of, you killed the news. I'd rather watch Bay when he talks about it on a weekly basis than watch CNN, MSNBC give you nothing but fucking lies.
Oh my God. Joy Behar is a comedian to me. The View is a comedian to me. I'm going to say this right now, and I've been saying this for the past month, and I meant to open with this. From my background, coming from consciousness and pro-blackity black, because I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, with the kufi and the dashiki and all of that stuff. Race hustling has never sat well with me at all.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that we didn't engage in when we had the store. Sure, we sold you all the black materials and everything, but that whole blame whitey, like, please show me the white man that's sitting at your kitchen table when you come downstairs. He's sitting there drinking a cup of coffee. Good morning, Willie. You ready for your racism today? Let's go through your schedule. Okay, at 9:30 on your way to work, you're gonna get pulled over by an officer. He's gonna hold you for 40 minutes. 3 other cars will show up because you fit the description. And after being handcuffed in the back of a patrol car for about a good 30 minutes, we'll realize that it's not you and let you go, making you late for work. Therefore, and once you get there, your white boss is going to chew you out and threaten your job in front of everyone, totally embarrassing and emasculating you in front of Susie, the white chick who possibly wanted to give you a BJ, but now she doesn't want to mess with you. Around lunchtime, we're going to have a white man steal your lunch, and he's going to eat it right in front of you and dare you to say something. And when you get up to actually say something, he's going to take it to HR and say you're being hostile. Okay, would you like to know what happens about 2:30? Yeah, you almost get fired because one of your white coworkers is going to blame you for why his work didn't get done. But luckily for you, one of your coworkers, a Hispanic guy, is going to stick up for you and say that it wasn't your project. Oh my God, wait till you see what happens when you go to the bar after work. You're going to avoid getting into a bar fight with a bunch of white bikers that comes in behind you and wants you to pay for your beers. Well, their beers. Yes.
Matter of fact, we'll do racism light, or racism zero. It's racism without the filling.
But getting back to what I'm saying, when you get people like a Jasmine Crockett or a Sonny Holston, or who's the dude on the Breakfast Club, Charlemagne, and Amanda Seals, when you get all of these people who like to race grift and race hustle, especially those who are on national television making hundreds of thousands of dollars, or they're in Congress or something like that, and all they talk about is racism. Like, understand. Oh, and when you get home, there'll be a white man leaving out of your house zipping up his pants, and your wife will say that he's a vacuum cleaner salesman. She wipes what looks to be a sticky white substance off her mouth. Anyway,
and by the way,
be her secret lover.
And by the way, you notice why you're about as black as John Henry and your kid looks like they got green eyes? It's not because you're genetics. And by the way, you're not the only one who's walking around with a third leg. The white man Jones is in your neighborhood.
we gave him the reverse anaconda malt liquor. Give you. I know y'all know that movie. Anyway,
Black Dynamite is the funniest movie that everybody should see who's black.
Yes. Said, don't forget Crying Van Jones. Oh, don't worry. I haven't forgotten Van Jones or D.L. Hughley or Ricky Smiley or all of these other goofy people that was pushing Kamala down our throats, even though everybody with any type of half a brain cell could see that this woman was not qualified. At any rate, it comes a point, look at me here. It comes a point where you, especially somebody that's a pro-blackity black, you get tired of this shit. You get tired of this shit. Understand, I was in it at its peakest height during the lecture season circuit when it was strong in the force.
Oh, back in the late 90s?
Yes. So I'm coming from that era, the era that Umar Johnson is trying to keep alive at
Yeah.
any rate.
Like when actually Dr. Ben and a lot of people and Khalid Muhammad, the people who actually were about the shit.
Yes. So
See, a
now,
lot of people don't know that me and Bay actually been to a lot of similar areas, by the way. But continue, please. I'm sorry.
no, you're fine. So now here we are in 2025, and the whole racism situation is passe. Black men are not getting dragged out of their cars and beaten and murdered by police anymore like they were during the Obama administration. By the way, Trump is the one who started prosecuting cops to the fullest extent of the law for doing that.
FBI, I know.
Because you were a cop at the time.
Dun, dun, dun.
He also let you tear down those racist statues.
Oh, yeah. He
He
also
also gave permanent funding to the HBCUs.
for 10 years instead of 4, that's something not even your so-called black president was willing to extend like he did.
Was it just 10? I thought it was a permanent situation.
I think it might be permanent, but they could come back every 10 years.
Right. So yeah, because you got to adjust for inflation. So yeah, but my point is that when you have the background that I come from, where I disappeared for damn near 20 years when I was in Ohio, trying to get my skull brain together over a tragedy. And then to come back down here to Atlanta and to see that the degradation of this once proud Kufi and Dashiki, Lion of Judah, the Hebrew Pimp You Rights, Shrine of the Black Madonna, the 5%ers. I mean, black culture, pro-black culture, blackity black culture dominated this city. You come back in 20 years and it's overrun by homosexuality and criminals.
What does that mean?
You've built nothing. There are pockets of people who have done something. Who was the guy, not Lloyd Jamar, who was that Umar stole that money from? The brother that's teaching the young boys. And Umar stole his money. He paid Umar to come out and talk to the boys, and Umar kept the money.
Didn't even come out.
I forget his name, but he was the brother. You've seen the videos where he was teaching the boys how to deal with the cops. He was teaching the boys how to change a tire. Say Jack Johnson part, twitching and switching. Yeah. Anyway, as far as I'm concerned, Umar is the epitome of the accomplishments that we have done since 2002, which is nothing but a lot of talk. Again, King Randall, thank you, ABM Angry. King Randall, that's who he played out. You have people like King Randall who are actually accomplishing things like we did. But it's at such a small scale that it's practically insignificant. It's like you're fighting against the Russian army and you just happen to take out like a machine gun turret with 4 people manning it. It's insignificant. Sure, it's a little damage. Yeah, it's King Randall. It's a little damage, but it's nothing in the whole scope of things. So when I see a Jasmine Crockett or somebody like that on here screaming, hollering about racism, especially somebody like an Amanda Seals, like it's not racism, it's your racy mouth. When I see these people talking about racism and whatnot, I realize that it is nothing but a grift and a hustle because they have nothing else to talk about. Jasmine Crockett has nothing else to talk about. The chick in Massachusetts, the bald head chick, Look like she should be on Star Trek. Has nothing else to talk about. Sonny Halston has nothing else to talk about.
Jamel Hill.
Yes. Joy Reid. All of these people. Racism becomes being a victim. Strong black woman, yeah, the victim of racism becomes their identity. And therefore they look foolish. They look foolish. Like, you look childish. You need to grow up. The oppression that you felt growing up, it's not there anymore.
And let's
You're the therapist. Sorry?
Let's be truthful. A lot of the oppression they felt was because of what other girls gave them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, she's a great victim, so therefore I'm a great victim too, because I'm with the sisterhood.
No. What I mean is,
Well, help me out.
Black women usually feel oppressed because of other black women. Because they're not dark, and because they're too dark. They're too light. They hate on the light-skinned chicks. They hate on the dark-skinned chicks. They hate on the in-between ones. What is black? If you're light-skinned with good hair, they hate on you. You know, they have these DEI kind of people in these fucking places. Didn't earn it.
They know Kamala's not black.
I know.
You can then misuse words like oppression. There has been no oppression for the white man in this country. You tell me which white men were dragged out of their homes. You tell me which...
Charles, when's the last time you've been dragged out of your house?
Can't say, man. I've done a few dragging of people out their homes, but, you know, that was lawful because of a warrant.
Okay.
One of them got dragged all the way across an ocean and told that you are going to go and work. We are going to steal your wives. We are going to rape your wives. That didn't happen. That is oppression.
Actually, that did happen to white folks. It was called, over here in America, they call that indentured servitude, though.
Mm-hmm.
And guaranteed, if you came with your wife, hey.
She got fucked.
Yeah. By the landowner.
And by the way, at no point are we trying to compare indentured servitude to antebellum slavery.
Yeah, it's different, but still, it's different yet same.
But
right, you were still a slave. You didn't get any special treatment during your time in slavery, but at least you got to work your debt off.
And you were still considered a human being. You still had some rights.
Right.
We didn't ask to be here. We not the same migrants that y'all constantly come up against. We didn't run away from home. We were stolen. So yeah, we are going.
Actually, a lot of us are indigenous, dummy. But whatever.
Want to sit here and be offended when you want to sit here and act like and don't let it escape you that it is white men on this side of the aisle telling us, people of color on this side of the aisle, that y'all are the ones being oppressed.
Shout out to Jibba Jabber. 10 pounds of Indian weave, 5 pounds of makeup, talking blackity black. Please enough. How you oppressed? The only thing oppressing you is the 20 pounds of horsehair in the back of your head
that she normally wears to the side and always combing. Meanwhile, looking like all she do is eat Popeye's chicken and biscuits every goddamn day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then between meal snacks. If you haven't seen her standing up, she a pudgy. She ain't built like Tiffany Henyard. I can give Tiffany Henyard some credit. She got a body on her.
She built pudgy. She like the average black chick. Pudgy.
Right.
What they
pudgy.
used to call that to the heavy boys back in elementary school? She a bit on the husky side.
Got sweat in the folds of her belly. Let's stop. Let me stop.
I bet you she sweats sea salt in the back of the crevices of her neck.
Oh Lord. At any rate, that's what I'm talking about. Like, you do understand, white folks don't care to hear that no more. And I guarantee you, they gonna drum her right the hell up out of there. They gonna drum her right up out of there, just like the chick in Massachusetts and eventually AOC.
Oh, AOC really look crazy now.
All these little race baiting. All I can do is talk about racism. Black folks, yeah, Crockett, yeah, they're gonna be drummed up out of there. They're gonna be drummed up out of there within the soon as the election come. But do understand, the committee, the Senate committee, can vote to have you removed.
Mm-hmm.
You can be fired. They can vote to have you fired, just like what Judge Christina Peterson down here in Georgia. She thought just because she was nothing but a damn probate judge. All she did was do marriage certificates and stuff. But she let the power go to her. I'm a judge, to the point where she throwing hands with a cop in the back of a car now, handcuffed with her wig off, talking about begging the cop, please call such and such, another judge that could get her out of her situation. And he was like, you can call them once we get to the station and once you get booked. Because she was trying not to get booked. She knew that her career was over. And sure enough, I mean, she was already on suspension and already slated to be removed from her judgeship around this time. I think it was February of this year, of 2025. They gave her a release date. After that body cam footage came out, she was gone within that week.
Mm-hmm. Nobody's tired of you.
They get tired. They get tired. I'll say it again, like I said at the top of the program. Joe Biden, BlackRock, George Soros, they gave black people power, mainly black women. And what they did with it, they did the worst thing you could have done, which is quote unquote reverse racism. Because, you know, hey, dumbass, you don't own none of this shit. This is on loan. This power, this false power that you've been given, this is on loan. Your little thuggo boyfriend not going to jail for stealing, or your kids going to jail for stealing, this is on loan. Eventually, the bill will come due. Trump won the way that he won, and how he won it was because they were sick of black folks and goofy white people shit. Sick of our shit and their own people shit. I saw a video today. This white boy was trying to say another white boy was privileged because of his white skin. He was like, but you don't know anything about me. Your white skin is why you're privileged. And I'm looking at it like, damn, I wish I was there, because I would clown that goofy white boy talking about some privileged white skin. I'm like, motherfucker.
Like, aren't you white?
Like, let me tell you something. Being a white savior, we don't. Any white people watching this video, being a white savior, it does not elicit respect, applause, or praise, or a pat on the fucking head from black people, because we know this fake white guilt shit. We know you're frauds. We know you're frauds. It's okay to not be racist, but I don't need you to stick up and defend me like I don't have a voice for myself. Stop getting into arguments with your own people with none of us around, as if you're speaking for me, especially if I'm standing right there. You don't speak for me.
No. I think traditionally that's part of the problem, is that you have a bunch of these white folks who think that because you speak for black people, you can talk about issues that, number one, it's kind of hard for you to talk about an issue that you benefit from. And even white people are going to look at you real funky because of that.
Let me explain to you white folks what we as black people see white privilege, what it all boils down to. Benefit of the doubt. That's it. That's it. I go to apply for a job. You apply for the same job. If our credentials match up, or I'm a little bit ahead of you, whoever's working the HR or the interview or whatever, they might, not saying they will, but they might feel more comfortable hiring you because you're white. They identify with you. Personally, it's like I care, but I don't really care. Do you understand? Because you get what you pay for. You get what you pay for. You suffer if you go the lesser route. But I, as a black man, in all honesty, I should not be coming to you, a white establishment, for a job. I should be able to be working with black people. But the problem is, and I'm going to say this right now, working for black people is probably one of the worst job experiences you can ever have. Because if you hire low IQ blacks, and by low IQ, I mean those who still stuck in high school, they still trying to put on fashion shows and gossipy mouth and all of that. Oh, your work experience, jealousy. You got a dude been on the job 40 years. He act like he owned the job. He gonna be the first one to slit your fucking throat because he's gonna feel like you're a threat to him. I shouldn't have to work for you as a white corporation, but because of the lack of black corporations and the black corporations that are there in certain areas, they hire low IQ morons. You wonder why the businesses suffer. You wonder why they fail. They're no different than a feminist bar or a feminist restaurant. No different. Because the people that you're working with were trained by them, those chicks, those man-hating lesbian feminists. Black women have the same ideology, and unfortunately, if there's no father around, they raise their sons up to be like that. So they have the same ideology.
Especially,
go ahead.
And then you wonder why does your son bat for the other team? Why does your son get into all this stuff with women? You made him hate them. And really, let's talk about the truth. A lot of men probably don't like women because they saw you.
Why does your son gossip like a little girl?
Sound like a little bitch.
Why is it that your son has never achieved anything significant in his life? He's never had anything. He will never have anything. He still runs around dressing like a little boy. All he does is keep up drama and confusion.
30 years old, living in the basement, scared to move out.
I mean, there's...
Call the police because I had to tell a woman. Argue with her son because he brought his girlfriend over. Lady, how old is your son? This is a 31-year issue that you created. Where's his dad? Well, his dad wasn't in his life. No. Were you married? Well, no. Were you and the dad in a relationship? No. Answer it. No. Then you picked this type of motherfucker to be this way. Don't call us for this shit.
I'm going to say something very controversial. If you are over the age of 30, you should have either a rent or mortgage in your name, and you should be paying it. It should be in your name, and you should be paying it. You're over the age of 30. You have fucked off your 20s, By the time you're about 26, 27, you should be more serious about your life. I don't care if it's a studio apartment. It should be in your name. The lease should be in your name. I get it. In today's economy, you might need a roommate or something like that. Let them be your roommate. You don't be somebody else's roommate. You be in control. You know why? Because, again, we live in white society. They are in control. You saw that Trump inauguration speech that I played earlier. How many black faces did you see in that freaking room? Because I checked. There weren't any black faces, but there were some brown faces, if you know what I mean by that.
Either mixed or Hispanic.
Or Indian.
Or definitely Indian.
Yeah, and they were very spotty. Outside of Vivek Ramaswamy and his wife, J.D. Vance's wife, Kamala Harris.
They were very light.
Yeah, you saw a sprinkle, but that was a very white room. And you can call it racism or whatnot, all you want to. You're now in the era where they don't need to pull you over and shoot you and beat you or anything like that. They're just going to financially freeze you the fuck out. They'll let you starve to death. That was the whole point of the Democrats putting your mama on welfare back in the 70s, was to starve you to death. Slowly and surely. And now here we are. It's happening right in front of your eyes. I'm sorry, Charles, were you going to say something?
No, I'm listening. I'll let you know.
Yeah. You see the videos. Women getting evicted, women getting fired, women sleeping in their cars, women having nervous breakdowns. I can't afford my business day. I got 2 degrees and I can't get the job that pays me in the area in which I got my degree in. Where'd you get your degree in?
Communications,
yeah. Women's studies, gender studies. You saw the video I posted. These chicks was getting and dudes was getting these sassy dudes was getting degrees that wasn't gonna pay them shit. You got college debt on top of that, and a lot of these girls can't go home because they don't get along with their mothers. And they can't stand their fathers if they know who they are, because the mothers have turned them against their fathers to the point where, and again, this is our biggest issue, is that where accountability, self-accountability is a sin. What do you mean I gotta be home by 10 p.m.? You're a narcissist.
You know what? Somebody should have never taught black women that word. I'm tired of hearing that shit. They use it so incorrectly. Narcissism is actually a fucking mental disorder.
You know who's a narcissist? Have you seen the white passport dude? He married the chick from Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a narcissist. If you delve into the story,
no.
Disconnected. Yeah, if you delve into the story, he is a narcissist. He didn't want to give her no money. He told her what to do all the time, and then he treated her parents like crap when of course they came to visit, and that was enough for her. She had enough. She was done. And she walked away with nothing. That goes to show you just how bad he was. And by the way, she was what? His 3rd, 4th marriage? Once you're on that many marriages, and the women that you were married to took the children away from you, they don't want you to see the kids, something's wrong with you. The problem is you. We have the common denominator of this shit. At any rate, the lack of accountability until we, not just women, but men as well,
of course,
until we both start accepting it into our lives, looking at our flaws, working on it, making ourselves better people, we're never going, you're not, that's it. This is the end of you. This is the end for you, my master. It's over. It's over. They have the high ground and they will starve you out. Just watch and see. Watch they cut more benefits. Watch they cut more benefits. It's pull yourself up by your bootstraps time. They're sick and tired of psychotic black women and their unruly children.
Mm-hmm.
They're tired of your pooky sons. They're done. They're done. Y'all don't get it. They're done.
Everybody's fed up with you. Everybody's fed up with your bullshit.
Yeah.
The only thing that came out of your womb was either disease or failure.
You think they playing with you? You think you gonna cry racism and they go, oh well, let me fix it. They just gonna look at you and be like, so what? What the fuck you gonna do about it? Who you gonna call? You gonna call Trump? You gonna call Obama? Kamala? Like they give a fuck about you?
And guess what? They actually look down upon you.
Thank you. Obama sat up there and sang a Negro spiritual when what did they call the 9 people that they killed Eddie Dylan Roof killed at the church? What did they label them? What do they call them?
What do you call them?
Dylan Roof killed the 9 people at the church, but they were given a name, a designation. You know, like 9/11, and you know,
I forgot what that shit was.
I forgot what it was called too. I think it had something to do with the church. But instead of Obama condemning white supremacists and the murders and all that stuff, instead he sang a Negro spiritual. He sang a slave song. You talk about being insulted.
Let's take that back for a minute. That would have been a perfect time to have a Negro Protection Act.
He called it the Charleston 9. It wasn't the Charleston 9.
Oh.
What was it called? Was it the Charleston 9? Hold on. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Well, how come you don't have a Black American Protection Act because of that?
Oh my God. I did not say polar bear.
Oh, polar bear.
Okay, it was called the Charleston church shooting. All right, okay. Okay, all right, yeah, you're right. All right. His death sentence has been upheld.
And how long ago was that?
2015.
Why is he still living?
Good Lord, I hate this. Wow, he's just 27.
But racism isn't a problem, right?
He was 21 years old, admitted white supremacists, entered the church on June 17, 2015. Okay.
How old was he?
He was 21 at the time. He fired off 74 rounds. Let's see. He was sentenced to death in earlier 2017. Let's see. It doesn't say when he's set for execution. Standby defense lawyers tried unsuccessfully to question his mental health for the record. Ruth said at the time that arguing for a prison sentence wasn't worth the effort. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to be. Just go ahead and just get it over with, bro. You sentenced to the death penalty, just get it over with. Yeah, he sang Amazing Grace.
I'm gonna ask this question. I'm gonna just ask this question, right? Number one, why do you have an Asian hate act when you don't have a Negro hate act? Number two, why don't you have I do have to ask that question. Why don't you have a Ministers of Defense 2.0? Number two, why this is in what, Charleston, South Carolina, right?
Right.
Why do black people go to church without guns?
Because it's church.
In the South.
Look, I will be the first. Look, I've already covered this. Oh, he's 30 now. Okay. I've already covered it. I've already talked about it. I don't leave home without my American Express card, okay?
What's in your wallet?
Yeah.
I gotta get that Capital One with that American Express.
That's another thing I meant to touch on. Man, if you're not running around here, you run around here all Scooby-Dooby-Doo, you're begging to get got. I'm not even going to argue about it. You're begging to get got. Okay, so what's going on with his death sentence appeal? Okay. Attorneys, this is in 22, March 2nd of 22. Attorneys for Roof announced, can you see this? Okay. Attorneys for Roof announced that they had asked the Supreme Court to resolve the dispute between them and their client over the mental illness defense. Roof had fired his attorneys to prevent them from portraying him as having a mental illness. Racism is a mental illness, especially where you're shooting people. The attorneys argued that they should have been allowed to remain on the case. Okay, so on October 11th of 22, it was announced that the Supreme Court had denied the appeal without comment. Okay, let's see. Let's go up one. On September 24th of 2021, the federal court declined to take the appeal case against the panel's decision, arguing in a one-page file that the appeal should go before the full appeals court. A day prior, attorneys for the federal government opposed appeals, saying that Roof was properly convicted and sentenced, saying that there is no need to revisit the facts for which Roof was found guilty. So, yeah, he's still getting that death penalty. Oh, okay. Let's see what happened here. Wait, hold on. Oh, wow. Okay. Let's see. On August 4, 2016, Roof was beaten by a fellow inmate. Oh, I remember this. While detained at the Charleston County Detention Center, Roof suffered bruising to the face and body, but was not seriously injured and was allowed to return to a cell after being examined by medical personnel. The assailant was identified as 25-year-old Dwayne Marion Stafford, who was awaiting trial on charges of first-degree assault and strong-arm robbery. Stafford was able to exit his unlocked cell, pass through a steel cell door with a narrow vertical window, and go down the stairs into the jail's protective custody unit to reach Roof. At the time of the attack, Roof was alone after 2 detention officers assigned to be with him left, one being on break and the other called away to do another task. This was a jailhouse setup. There's no fucking way you're getting out to go roam around that far with all them cameras and whatnot, steel doors and all of that stuff to go beat up Dylan Roof.
Oh, they got their ass whooped. Oh, he got his ass whooped.
Yeah. Roof, as an attorney, stated that they did not plan to press charges. The night after the attack, 18 months after his initial arrest, Stafford was released on a $100,000 bond. On December 24th, 2024, when President Joe Biden announced commutations for the death sentences of 37 out of 40 federal death row inmates to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, he excluded Roof, along with Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, who committed the 2013 Boston Marathon bombing, and Robert Gregory Bowers, who committed the 2018 Pittsburgh synagogue shooting, because of their convictions for either terrorism or hate-motivated mass murder-related crimes. So that's what's going on with old Dildo Roof there.
Now, with the Jibber Jabber, have a question for me in the chat?
He said, do we have political juice to force the black hate crime bill? The hate crime bill was supposed to be for us. But do understand, this is what I was trying to say. The hate crime bill that first came out during the Obama administration was supposed to be for us. I believe that's what they nailed your boy on. The one who killed George Floyd.
Yeah, Chauvin.
Right. So the thing was, when they executed it, we were still living in a judicially racist country, which is going to feel like they're about to return to, because I have to be honest, I am all in favor of somebody resisting arrest, especially being verbally aggressive, trying to run away or whatnot. I have no problems with pepper spray, taser, or nightstick being used on your ass. Even punches, not to the face, but I would say to the body, because, you know, head injury. I have no problems with that. Not because, you know, they pulled you out of the car and you complying and then the cop got roughed. No, because you were being, if you've seen the body cam videos that I've seen, you'd be like, damn, if I was that cop, I'd have whooped their ass. Trust me.
Trust me. A lot of times I had to. Some of the fights you saw me in, you would think it would be brutality. And I'm just like, yo, like, I'm not a brutal guy. It's the fact that, one, you're talking about a guy like myself who had to defend himself.
You asked for this meeting. He said, I know white guys that have a church gun. Like Sheldon's father got driving whiskey.
let me see that. He said, also, Charles, do you have a black church consult you for security details or tactics?
Oh, I'm sorry.
You know the answer to that shit.
Of course not. The Lord will protect us.
I'm actually, this week I'm going to tell you this. Look, like I told everybody about my feelings about guns. I live in a country that's too racist, too dangerous, and everybody else have them. The fuck I look like not having them? That's dangerous.
So, LAPD SWAT 1 said, question for the panel. How do we go about creating a pot to lobby politicians? Money.
You have to buy your politicians, man.
Yeah.
We're the only motherfuckers who think you're not supposed to buy a politician. Why is that?
Well, you know, because the good Jesus, my brother. Back when blacks didn't have nothing, we had the big and I do it because I'm a crackhead.
I'm starting to wonder if the good shit Jesus have done black people any justice.
No. Never. There are people that have been murdered begging for God. Please don't do this, Henry. I love you. Please, you're going to go to hell. Pow, pow. I'm already there.
Am I wrong for saying, why didn't they have a gun? You're in the South. All the racism there. I went to my grandfather's funeral strapped. I went to my great-grandmother's funeral strapped. I went to my wrestling coach's funeral strapped.
Dude, I don't even go to Kroger's.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like, I was not raised that type of Negro.
These are dangerous times we live in right now. Very dangerous times. You can get non-lethal self-protection on Amazon.
Yeah. And I will say this from a professional standpoint, even with non-lethal, still have lethal options available.
That's good. No, he's right. Own and know how to use. Yeah, you need to get your ass out there to the range. If you own a real gun, take your ass to the range. When I went, it was $50. Is that too high?
No. Just about right.
Yeah, it was about $50 a pop. I went every other week. When I was dating the white chick, lived 45 minutes away from the city, out in the country. She had nothing but grass and opportunity in her backyard. Me and her son used to line them targets up. She had to call the neighbors to let them know that we're shooting. You know, it's a courtesy. And then we would light them cans and stuff up.
I'm gonna tell you one thing about it. Here's a saying for you. It's better to be a warrior in the garden than a gardener in a war.
He wants some pendergrass. What is he talking about?
I think I bet. It's one of the guys who saw my my shorts from the from the Joe Frazier left hook, and it was playing Teddy Pendergrass. I think I better let it go.
Oh, okay. I got something for him.
Every day it's the same shit with you. It's the same shit with you. You need to. Why are you running up on me, bro? Why are you running up on me like that? Why are you running up on me like that? You are too young to be acting like that. So what? You know what? I'm gonna call the police. Call whoever you want to call. I'm gonna call the police. I'm gonna call the police. You better stop grabbing my phone. You better stop grabbing my phone like you grown. You better stop grabbing my phone like you grown. You can't put me out of nothing. Yes, I can put you out. Like I said, I'm gonna go do what I want to do. This is my house. What? I help pay the bills and I don't care. What bills you help pay? Mom, you can't. What bills did you help pay? You my mama. I'm your son. You can't tell me where to go. But if you're gonna be running up on me like that, you're gonna get up out of here. Every day I'm outside hitting blocks. Why are you going to sleep with a ski mask on? So why'd you post me on social media? Talking about. What you mean why I'm posting on social media? Because look how you act. It's for real. I don't care. This is for my protection and for my safety. This is for my protection and my safety. Get back. Get back. Ain't no get back. I'm not getting back. I'm not getting back. I'm not getting back. Every day I'm spinning these blocks. You better get back. What? You better get back. What?
Watching this, all I keep hearing in my mind is, I don't need no man to raise my child. I don't need no man to raise my child.
Your husband's supposed to be for your protection and safety.
If there was that boy's father was in his house, he would not be talking about some "this is my house" with a ski mask on and getting all up in his mama's face. His ass would be in the room playing goddamn PS5. Let's just be honest.
Number
He
one,
being
my son's 17 in boxes. Do you think I fear my son bucking?
no.
The day you try it, I'm going to make an example of you, boy. I'm going to show you the real definition of pain.
But see, that's you say question. What
you
the
down like a subject and a predicate.
What the F is the psychology behind these mass felantonios? I don't get the mask. It's to cover their face.
It's criminality. What does
Right.
a bank robber do from the old stagecoach? They did what? Cover their face.
Let me tell you what's going on in these inner cities with these teenage robbing crews. If they're not part of an organization, they normally hang out in groups of 4. Somebody's always carrying a gun. At least 2 of them are carrying guns, and they walk around neighborhoods and then they just look for opportunities. But when there's more than 4, when they're organized, they're part of a criminal organization.
Looking
right.
Yes, I know I shedded some tears. Time.
Get this out. When they're part of a criminal organization, of course they wear the mask because they're part of robbing crews. Like when they hit like these expensive stores or whatnot, especially women's stores, is part of a robbing crew. Like a woman will hire them out, like, hey, whatever merchandise you bring back, you get paid for it. So then they do the bum rush. All right, they do the bum rush that you see on these CCTV footage videos. They snatch what they can because they're teenagers. They get slaps on the wrists. You know, they get out within the hour. They just get a ticket, a desk appearance ticket.
Or their parents pick them up from baby bookings.
Yeah, if they get arrested. Yeah, So they run the merchandise back to the reseller, who will turn around. She's not really the real reseller. She's just the collector. She sells it. She sends it up to the reseller who pays her. And then the reseller sells the stuff on eBay and Let Go and all these other sites except for Amazon, because Amazon requires a lot. You got to have business licenses and insurance and all of that stuff. But not on, Facebook Marketplace, stuff like that. And they sell it at a discount. I did the story last year. The white chick out in California living in a $1.2 million home. Her husband had a job. She had a job. But she was the ringleader of a theft ring across the United States that hired black kids. It was 5 women, like a couple Asians and Indian and a white. I think it was three Indians, an Asian, and a white. They was hiring black kids to do all this robbing, all this stealing. That's why he wears the mask.
It's a shiesty. That's what they call the mask, a shiesty.
Question: how do we discipline the girls who fall out of line? With a belt.
With a fucking belt, your hand, a foot up the ass.
He'd have his own dent in the drywall. Okay, I thought it was deeper. No, it's not deeper. It's just crime.
It's just criminality. We worship it. Okay, stop making it look like something that it's not. Read the next question, please.
Question for Colonel Faulkner: will you do a monthly open source intelligence program giving intel updates, also basic review of CQB and situation awareness and personal security? If you do that, Charles, I would say take that to your Patreon.
Sure, Patreon.
Take it to the Patreon.
Patreon, sure. I mean, if you looked in my house, I'll send you pictures of how I decorated my shit. One part is my comic book collection of my comic book art. The other part is my accomplishments, and I'm not even done. Let me put it to you this way. You got so many experts in the so-called black manosphere, right? How valuable would a guy with correctional, police, military, private security, firearms training experience, how valuable would that guy be in this space? Even though he's not talking about pussy and getting pussy all the time, even though I can talk about that as well.
For those who are interested, very.
Because I'll give you a little tidbit. If y'all start actually paying for the Patreons, and I'll tell you little tidbits and shit like that, I would do it. This is the goal. What I think a lot of you should do. I think a lot of you should actually, for all the content creators you like, not saying that you shouldn't get a job, but if you really value their information, you should really pay them to the point where that could be their full-time job.
You know where I stand on internet money.
Yeah, it's not permanent.
Yeah, social media platforms. It's not permanent. I mean, look how these people were crashing out because of TikTok. Yeah.
But I would say this. You should be compensated well. Because that knowledge that person obtained, no matter if it's Dr. T, if it's Bay, Lewis, or anybody else, was not cheaply afforded to them. So a lot of black people want to get the cheapest deal and look for what? A discount for shit that people had to go to school for, or some type of higher level learning or study.
For information that they're just going to see as entertainment.
Exactly.
So, which reminds me, when you talk about Patreon, I lowered mine down to $5 a month, and I'm going to start, because like I normally don't crash out to about 3:00, and sometimes I'll be wanting to cut this camera on, but it don't be worth it. So what I'm just going to do, I'm just going to start making videos, dumping my thoughts on it, and then I'll upload them to my Patreon. So that's pretty much what it's going to be. It's my Patreon is going to be for 2025. It's going to be my random thoughts. Now, Blood Boiler asks, even if we use a belt on them, on the kids, what if they lie on the police? What if they lie to the police on us for disciplining them? I saw a video once of a black daughter calling the police on her dad for doing so. Look, you got to start whooping ass.
I've been the officers to these calls. Why don't you? This is a reason why you need more black officers in the community. Who knows your stories better than you?
Tell it.
You got to be able to say, hey, I told a little girl, you lie on your father, yeah, I'm going to whoop your ass. My godson thought I was being mean, and that's not right. I said, wait till you have a kid. Wait till you provide all this shit for a kid and think that you're going to be, you want to be a cop. Shit. Nobody likes you. Remember
that. Can you cut me a solid? I've heard it landscaping. No, that's when I stand up. No. In fact, I don't trust you. You already trying to play. I'm not about to cut this grass and then you patting your pockets. No, it's not about to be that. In all honesty, you paying me up front. You paying when I get there, I expect payment. Don't worry, we'll do the job. But I want payment. You're not way too many people getting hustled like that. And you are not about to bitch and complain and micromanage me when we're finished. We're gonna do the same job we've been doing since we came here. I'll be goddamn. We're not cutting your bushes into a damn dinosaur. That's extra. You got an extra $250? Hey, okay, cash app it.
Maybe.
Juanito, underlay. He went to Godzilla.
I'm going to tell you, that's the reason why the black community is in the shamble that it is. You want people to do so much for your bottom dollar bullshit. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in poor righteous teachers. You know, Big may not care about compensation, but guess what? At least give them some likes. At least give them some publicity. You know, bring people to the teachings.
I care about compensation when it's my labor. To me, this is not labor.
Yeah, it's hobby.
This is a hobby to me. I'm just talking to my bros.
Yeah. And
I'm not betting or anything.
Sorry, that's why I said, you know, some type of publicity. Give, you know, a lot of the comment sections, you know, y'all should be interactive in those as well because it brings traction to the channels. You really should. And I really think that if black people find something out of it and it benefits you, let the person know. Stop holding on to that shit.
Let me see. I think I have that. What he just said, I think I have that video where a father kicked out his daughter. And I understood it. Let me see if I can find it. Oh my God. No, it wasn't that far down. Let me see here. The hell. Oh no, I don't. I think it might be on my phone. I think it's on my phone. But yeah, there was a situation where a father, he was kicking out his daughter. Hold on, wait. Hold on. Go ahead. You can talk. Let me find this.
Man, it's so bad when it comes to the point of discipline. Oh my God. You should not have to question the law about discipline. Discipline without love is abuse. Now, I'm not saying you got to do your favorite WWF or UFC holds on a kid. That's why you need to discipline your kids early so you don't have to worry about that shit later.
Oh, like, speaking of later, like when you're so stupid and so lack of consciousness that you think that twerking at work in your uniform, that there's nothing wrong with that. Do you understand what I'm saying? You think that there's nothing wrong with that until you get fired and you already know who came to the rescue.
Faster than a child support check. Stronger than a goddamn stronger than a loose BBW. You know what's shameful for a lot of
Oh, I know where it is. Ah, shoot, I know where it is. Okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
You know what's shameful for you black women? I'm gonna say this to y'all, man. A lot of y'all will have the most beautiful faces, but have the most wildest shapes. You're like 350 pounds. But, you know, back to what I was saying about the discipline shit.
Oh my God.
What?
No, I'm on Twitter. A father stabs a vendor after he approached him and his daughter because they refused to buy something. The vendor kicked the stroller and pulled out a knife on them. In return, the dad stabs him. I say it's self-defense, but what are your thoughts? And the father was just wailing on this guy. But that's what happens when you mess with somebody's kid. But I will put that, for the record, I will put this in the Patreon, which is what I've been doing with my Patreon. I'll put that. Oops, is that the wrong video? Oh, here it is. Okay. I'll put that in my Patreon so you guys can see it. But it is very painful. But I know where that video is now. Go ahead. It's in Threads. Let me go to Threads.
Wow. That's also another thing, man. That just shit like that makes you not want to go outside anymore.
What? The father thing? I mean, the stabbing thing?
Yeah.
Look, you. If I'm out with my kid and you pull something like that,
I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, you can pretty much call it a day. Oh, let's see here. Oh, I found it. Okay, here we go.
There's a good chance you might not make it out, but
hold on. Can y'all see this? Can you see that?
oh yeah.
In my house. You have to get out my house. I'm sorry, I don't know where you gonna go, but you can call your mama and ask her, can you come back?
You already know she don't want me with her, so why would you even?
I don't care. You keep doing the same thing. I send you to school, you ditch your school. You steady calling these little boys. I don't
even talk to nobody.
Look, I told you to stay away from these little boys. We're not gonna keep doing this. I'm not going over this no more with you. You have to get your stuff and get out my house. Yes, you have to figure it out. You gotta figure it out. I'm tired. Call your mama right now. Call your mom. See, that's your problem. That's your problem right now. Your attitude. You're only 14 years old. Call your mama. Yeah. Call your mama right now. You gotta get out my house. I'm done. You're too grown. You're only 14 years old. You steady doing the same thing. I found weed in your room.
That wasn't even mine.
Who weed was it?
You know my friend was over here last time.
That's your problem. You hanging out with these little fast-ass little girls.
I told her not to bring it in.
No, you steady lying. That's your problem. You need to stop lying and go to school. All I asked you to do was go to school. I buy you everything you want. And you steady crying for what? All you got to do is do the right thing. But pack your stuff and get out of my house. You can leave now. I'm not going to keep doing the same thing in my house. You have to get out my house.
Is that the daughter on the side?
Where you going to go?
Say what?
Call your mom.
Is that the daughter on the side?
You mean right here in the pink?
No, on the black.
I don't know. This looks like a photo of an AI image.
Yeah.
This looks like an AI image, but
I was gonna say that's a grown ass 14. Good God.
Right, but you heard what he was saying, what he was going through.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in that situation.
You gotta go.
You're talking about the Jamaican father who kicked out his daughter for getting pregnant twice. Oh no, not that one. Can we expect problems with the upcoming deportations and cartels? Of course. You either go quietly or you go quietly into that good night.
And one of the major things we're going to be doing is we're going to be having a war with the cartels. Now, we're going to tell Mexico, you need to handle your shit.
So what's my Twitter? Which one?
Well, my man said be more active on Twitter. I need to be.
I know I need to be. I am. It depends on what it's from.
But goddamn, Twitter, man, you get lost in the sauce.
There you go. So you said, at what point during pregnancy can a DNA paternity test be accurate? First trimester. You know what? I mean, I guess. I mean, usually people just wait until the baby is born. Oh, I can change this all now. I can change this up. I can change both of these now. Those idiots are gone now. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Tucker Carlson. Breaking news. Trump insiders are saying that a large number of lawyers at the Department of Justice, the DOJ, are planning to submit their resignation letters once President Trump takes office. Bye.
Bye. Oh,
Bye. Fuck out.
Why are you submitting them? Because you know you did some dirt shit?
Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about. How Dr. Fauci and the January 6th committee, Biden preemptive. No, nigga, ain't no preemptive pardoning nothing. Why are you preemptive pardoning people who've done nothing wrong?
Yeah.
That's like your kid coming to you, promise me you won't get mad. And they're like, they got blood on their head, like literal blood dripping out of their hands after you've been calling for the dog. Fido.
Yeah.
Fido.
Well, that's how you know you did some dirt ass shit. You're a dirty motherfucker.
Right.
Dirt motherfuckers. And they ought to call their ass the Department of Injustice. Dirty motherfuckers, man. How you gonna be doing that dirt shit? Even if you don't like the guy, or you were given orders to do something, you're gonna do that dirty shit. But yeah, Biden Hunter actually committed treason.
Hey, don't forget 10% for the big guy.
10% for the big guy.
Gotta get the big guy gotta get his money.
His money. Gotta get, you got to do it for old Jim Crow Joe.
Oh my God. Are you serious? Wait, hold on. All right, so let's get out of here.
Yeah.
I gotta go to the hospital tomorrow. All right, so that's it. That's pretty much where I sit. As black people, as black men, you need to get your money together. Now is not the time to be dicking around. Winter is coming. Kevin Samuels loved to say that, but I'll say it. Winter's not coming just for women. You can't be raised in the same household as a ratchet chick or whatnot and think that you came out unscathed, that your sister is a POS and you're the golden child. Hell no, you're just as flawed as she is. You grew up in the same house, ate the same food, had the same upbringing. You just as messed up as she is. It's just that you, like her, refuse to see your flaws.
Yeah. You got to take some accountability, my friends.
Right. Go ahead.
The blessed about you being a male that you naturally are more logical about it. But right now, you should be planning for preemptive strikes.
Because they're coming.
They're coming. I mean, either we've eliminated, or I hate to say it, galvanized a lot of shit. Don't be surprised at this shit. Be prepared, man. Be prepared, I'm going to start doing Patreons. I'm going to start inviting guests. A lot of y'all need to be prepared, man. And y'all wondering why I'm a bit more conservative. And if anybody know Brandon Tatum, tell him, trying to holler at him. Trying to holler at him. I want to holler at your boy. Cop to cop. It'll be interesting because, one, I want to see how honest he's going to be. My thing is how honest you're going to be about the system. And the craziest part is he has over 2 million to 3 million subscribers. Oh, trust me, the name will be out there. So we're gonna start. I'm gonna start that, and I'm gonna start being more active. You know, not just look at the big booties on Twitter. Just and hit everybody's hit Bay, hit Lewis Collier, Red Pill Sleeper Cell, embrace villainies comment sections and stuff, and tell us what you want us to talk about, man. So, let's do some participation.
Mine is in my description box.
Yep.
And apparently, what I'm reading here today, Jinping ordered the Chinese army to prepare for a war.
With who?
That's what I'm reading here. Doesn't really say. Oh, Oceania.
That's like Australian shit.
Right. We'll keep Estasians in line. It works for the Kim dynasty after all. Whatever. It's a bullshit. Whatever. I thought it was something important.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Right. If it's not Russia or America or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, y'all just have a
y'all trying to do the American thing. Pick on the little guys.
All right. It was great having you on, Charles.
Always another pleasurable 3 the hard way. I guess I'll do the solo dolo tomorrow or Wednesday. I'm in a lot better spirits today. Come on, Lamar. We need.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, yeah, I give him his Hall of Fame flowers. Not on first ballot, but you know, if Dan Marino can go to the Hall without winning the Super Bowl, so can Lamar.
He could get. I think he'll get one. I just think that I think that a lot of mental things happen because they have too much talent on that team not to do it. Okay.
I think they were well, Lamar was pressing early on, and the Mark Andrews, the fumble and the drop. Okay,
that killed a lot of spirit.
There's 5. They say there were 5 plays, but the 3 biggest ones was the interception, the fumble, and then the drop. Not to mention I know number 4 was the inability to get into the end zone when they were down by the goal line. Remember they got stopped on a 3 and out?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous with Derrick Henry in the backfield. You put an offensive or a defensive lineman in front of him, and then you give him the ball and let them power their way through it. I don't give a fuck if it takes you 4 tries. You do it.
Well, I think it was the 2-point conversion, the interception, that really, really fucked up bad snap. Where I told you,
that's right. I forgot about the fumble.
That bad snap. And I mean, I know Lamar does some amazing shit. Lamar, that's fucking snow. It's wet. Go down. Go for the next round.
Yeah, fall on the ball, bro. Fall on the ball.
And I mean, you should know that. Yes, we know that you could do some amazing shit. That's snow. That's a different climate.
You are not Superman. You're just a very athletic man.
Even if you were Superman, play for the next. Play to win, don't play not to lose, play to win.
Don't play hero ball. How about that?
Yeah, because if you would have sat on that fumble, it gave your punter a chance to kick it. They wouldn't be right there scoring on you. You make them earn every fucking blade of grass.
Trump pardons nearly all January 6 rioters on first day of presidency. Well, he did say that.
Hey, you're partially the reason why he got reelected.
I'm so sick of hearing about this January 6 shit. I hope CNN is done talking about it. especially after all the pardons Joe Biden did. But all right, let's get out of here. I'm gonna hit let's go some Go Beyond before we crash out.
Now for a lesson. You may have heard these words before, but I'll teach you what they really mean. Go beyond! Plus!
I'm not Captain Saberhole. No, real talk. I'm not Captain Saberhole. Yeah, no. Look, I'm not like this in the slightest. I'm attracted to intelligent chicks to think righteous.